Chapter 1759. The Self-Destruction of a Five-Star Heavenly God. All the heavenly gods present were cursing. Who had ever seen something like this? The self-destruction swept across the pale, sacred land. The heavenly gods who were watching were also caught in the attack. They all took out protective treasures and covered themselves with layers. But even so, more than 10 heavenly gods died on the spot. Poor unlucky bastards. Rulers and immortal sovereigns had already left the battlefield. There weren't that many who died. The entire territory was in a state of shock. All the heavenly gods appeared and looked in the direction of the pale sacred land, their faces filled with shock. The self-destruction of a 5-star heavenly god was too great. In the wave of destruction, a black figure shot out of the void. Tian, I've given up my body. I don't believe I can't kill you. Even if I can't kill you, I can still heavily injure you. When I find an old friend, I'll kill you. Patriarch Shur's expression was ferocious. Unless it was a matter of life and death, Patriarch Shur wouldn't use self-destruction, destroying his own divine body. Even if he had a physical body in the future, his strength would be greatly affected. Patriarch Shur had never imagined that he would be defeated by a young fellow. Even his medial grade divine armor, which he had never used before, had been destroyed. Patriarch Shur felt like crying. Under these circumstances, self-destruction was the only way to escape. Old thing, you want to leave just like that? You're making fun of me. In the air, an enormous hand of time descended. Patriarch Stone was shocked and tried to change directions, but the hand of time grabbed him. A moment later, a young man appeared in the air. Lin Fei was on guard at all times. The moment the other party self-destructed, Lin Fei had already activated his invincible defense, and he was already in the void. You're going all out just to leave. Lin Fei's heart ached at the loss of his divine power. Even though he reacted quickly, he was still affected by the self-destruction and used up a lot of his divine power. Ancestor Stone was very confident in this move. But at this moment, Ancestor Stone had suffered a huge blow. His last bit of hope had crumbled. You can't kill me. My master is an ultimate god expert. Ancestor sure tried to act tough. You better let me go right now. So you have a master and an ultimate god expert at that. What a powerful background. It's really scary. Lin Fei pretended to be afraid and laughed out loud. Your master is a godly venerable rank master. What does that have to do with me? If I say that the crafting sect is to be removed, then it must be removed. Lin Fei released the power of time. 10,000 years with a single glance. Ancestor Shur's soul was strong, but it could not withstand the power of time. Tian, I curse you to die a horrible death. Ding! Congratulations. You have killed 5-star celestial god. Ding! Congratulations. You have killed the first 5-star heavenly god. Ding! Congratulations, player has received experience points. Ding! Since you have killed a 5-star celestial god for the first time, you are rewarded with a promotion. Ding! Congratulations. You have become a 1-star celestial god. Lin Fei had killed the 5-star heavenly god of the weapon refining sect, and the system sent him good news. F*CK, I've leveled up. Lin Fei only felt that his body was soft and warm, especially comfortable. His godhead, which was originally half, was immediately infused with a thick external power. The long journey was completed in the blink of an eye. A new godhead appeared in Lin Fei's body and it spun. The divine power in his body began to flow, forming a perfect structure. Traces of divine power also entered his body, but it was very weak. I was right to come here. Killing a 5-star celestial god has such benefits. If I had known, I would have come to kill him. Lin Fei was very surprised that he had broken through to the heavenly god realm at this time. Ding! Player has entered the heavenly god realm. The system will undergo an upgrade for 2 hours. System update in progress. The system in Lin Fei's mind disappeared without a trace. The system is going to upgrade again. The last system update brought many changes, and Lin Fei was very much looking forward to the changes after this update. He tried to contact Little Fiend, but there was no result. The Pill's sanctum had been reduced to ruins. The celestial gods who had barely survived were all heavily injured, and their expressions were very ugly. This is too scary. Old ancestor sure of the crafting sect is really a piece of trash. My good friend was here just now, and he died in the blink of an eye. Do you guys think D. Tian is dead? Rumor has it that D. Tian cultivates a heaven-defying technique. If he is dead, can we hurry up and find him? The surviving celestial gods were all tempted. They had all seen D. Tian's strength and ferocity. The 5-star celestial god of the crafting sect was very powerful, but he was still taken care of by D. Tian and even self-destructed. If they could obtain the technique D. Tian left behind, they would be very powerful in the future. It was unknown who mentioned this, but the injured heavenly deities all released their divine senses to search around, afraid that they would fall behind everyone else. Even if there was a peerless treasure in front of them, it was still not as important as the cultivation Art D. Tian left behind. Boom! A saber light slashed through the void. The searching celestial god's body shook. His divine sense was cut off, and he looked up at the distant sky in shock. Everyone, you guys are quite free. I wonder what you found. In the sky not far away, Lin Fei appeared in front of them, looking at them with a smile. He didn't die. What kind of joke was this? They were already very afraid of D. Tian, and they thought that they would be killed in the self-destruction. Now that he came out, their expressions became unnatural. I'm not looking for anything. They didn't dare to look D. Tian in the eyes. Even the self-destruction of a 5-star celestial god didn't die, so they were no match for him, especially when they were injured. I found something good here. One of the shifty-eyed celestial gods took out the divine sparks he had collected. There were 3 of them, and he presented them respectfully. Yes, this seems to be what I lost. Lin Fei didn't have a good impression of these celestial gods. Attack him together? Unfortunately, those who attacked him seemed to have all been killed by the self-destruction, and a few of them had also disappeared without a trace. This is what I should do. That person lowered his head. He was extremely depressed. It wasn't easy to obtain the divine sparks. Lin Fei swept his gaze across. What about you guys? I seem to have picked up 2 divine sparks too. I have 1. I have 3. Even though Lin Fei didn't release his killing intent, the injured celestial god couldn't stand his gaze. Regardless of whether he picked up the divine sparks or not, he gritted his teeth and took them out. In less than a moment, Lin Fei had 30 divine sparks in his hands, and he was laughing in his heart. Wow, these people are all tycoons. 30 divine sparks could be exchanged for several divine king fragments. Suddenly, one of the celestial gods said, Lord D. Tian, I am willing to atone for my sins. I know where the treasure vault of the weapon refining sect is. Lin Fei looked in the direction of the voice and saw a 1-star celestial god standing uneasily. Lin Fei had an impression of this person. It was the celestial god who had attacked him. Chapter 1760. They're gone. From now on, the weapon refining sect will no longer exist. D. Tian is too cruel. The weapon refining sect has really kicked an iron plate this time. The experts of the entire weave couldn't help but sigh. They were even more fearful of D. Tian. It was normal for them to say that they didn't care before. They thought that D. Tian's reputation was just bragging and not worth mentioning. But now that the weapon refining sect had been destroyed, they truly realized how terrifying D. Tian was. Help? No one dared to do that. Right now, D. Tian was invincible. He had an invincible aura. They would just be throwing their lives away if they went. No one would go against D. Tian for the sake of a destroyed weapon refining sect. It wasn't worth it. Dition couldn't be offended. The experts secretly listed Dition as someone they couldn't afford to offend. They even told the younger generation of their clansmen not to go against Dition. They couldn't afford to offend someone like him. The weapon refining sect had always stood strong, but now it was destroyed just like that. Half-step celestial gods and celestial gods had all died in battle. The disciples of the crafting school would also suffer because of this. Without the protection of the crafting school, the disciples of the crafting school who managed to escape were all extremely rich. They had long since been targeted by someone in the dark, and now that an opportunity had presented itself, who would miss it? Lin Fei wasn't interested in small fries. The weapon refining sect's treasury was a little attractive. Lin Fei arrived in front of a ruin. It used to be a mountain range. There were incomplete array formations everywhere, which showed how powerful they were. Lord Dition, the treasury is below here. Lin Fei used his spiritual sense to scan the area. It was indeed a treasure trove. There were many layers of restrictions and killing formations. It was extremely horrifying. You can go now. The Celestial turned and left as if he had been pardoned. Treasury? He didn't want to go in. It would be a lie if the celestial gods weren't tempted by the weapon refining sect's treasury. However, even the 5-star celestial ancestors sure had been killed. They were worried that they would be killed if they went in. Although the treasures were good, they needed to be alive to enjoy them. Otherwise, Lin Fei disappeared from the sky above the ruins and came to the layers of array formations. A black hole gate appeared in front of Lin Fei, and he charged through it. Fortunately, the self-detonation of the 5-star heavenly god had destroyed a portion of the killing formation, and its might had been affected. The killing move activated by the formation's restrictions was not very powerful. It took Lin Fei half an hour to force his way through these array formations and restrictions until a stone door appeared in front of him. The crafting school must have put in a lot of effort for their treasury, but now it's all mine. Lin Fei took out the heavenly deity saber and slashed at the stone door. After dozens of slashes, the stone door was violently broken. Lin Fei strode in, and a huge treasury appeared in front of him. Good heavens, the crafting materials are piled up like a mountain. The treasury was huge. At the same time, it was an independent world. Lin Fei was completely dumbfounded by the sight of the mountain of materials. This was truly not simple at all. Lin Fei was not very interested in the materials, but if these materials were placed outside, everyone would come out to fight for them, and some of them were of perfect quality. One after another, Lin Fei chose to ignore all of the materials. If the system was updated and there was a way to deal with the materials, Lin Fei did not mind taking the materials for other purposes. The material area was huge. After leaving the material area, wow, so many weapons and battle suits. As soon as he came out of the material area, he saw a small mountain of weapons and battle suits, and even some other treasures. Lin Fei roughly counted with his divine sense, and the total number was over 10 million. Adding the two together, there were more than 50 million. There were a lot of things, but for the territory of this world, there were not many of these things, and everyone could not even get one. The crafting school's stockpiling was just to control the quantity and achieve a monopoly. You guys didn't sell, now it's all mine. Lin Fei was not interested in these weapons and battle suits, but for the Tianyin Tower, the effect was very good. As long as the Tianyin Tower had weapons and battle suits, its reputation would rise after a few more auctions. Take it, I have to take it. Lin Fei took out the storage ring and put away the weapons and battle suits. Fortunately, Lin Fei did not have many things, and he had many large storage rings on hand. He took away all the weapons and battle suits, leaving nothing behind. If the heavenly gods of the crafting sect knew about this, they would definitely die with grievances. It took Lin Fei a lot of time to collect these materials. After all, when he was collecting, he had to pay attention to the surrounding movements, and he did not release the fusion. There are only so many battle suits and weapons, I wonder what other good things there are below. Lin Fei walked down again. His eyes lit up again. Not far away, there were many wooden shelves, each with weapons and battlesuits. With Lin Fei's eyesight, they were definitely the work of a grandmaster. Lin Fei randomly picked up a weapon and saw that the quality was not bad, but it was still a long way from the weapons produced by the system. Not bad, not bad. There are at least 300,000 to 400,000 high-quality weapons here. I wonder how long the crafting sect has been storing them. These high-grade weapons were going to be collected too. Lin Fei continued to plunder the loot, collecting the high-grade weapons and battle suits one after another into his storage ring. Top-grade materials? These can be sold for money. I'll take them. There's even a refining method? This should be worth a lot of money. I'll take them first. The treasury was huge. Lin Fei did not stop taking away everything he saw. Even if he did not want them, he could take them to auction. Cultivation method, divine ability, they could also be sold for money. This time, dealing with the crafting sect consumed a lot of divinity points, and he had to replenish it no matter what. The crafting sect could only blame themselves for being too greedy. They had to pay the price for doing something wrong. It was the same for the crafting sect. In less than 2 hours, the treasury became empty. No matter what it was, Lin Fei had taken it all away. Low-grade divine weapons, godheads, and those things. After Lin Fei finished storing the treasures, he could not help but frown. He did not see any trace of low-grade divine weapons from start to end. Lin Fei did not care about other things, but he did care about godheads. He had a feeling that after the system upgrade, godheads would be of great use. The more godheads, the better. Now that he had not seen a single godhead, Lin Fei was naturally displeased. That old thing probably wouldn't put the godheads in the storage ring, so it must be in the treasury. Otherwise, there would be no need to station so many powerhouses outside the treasury. Lin Fei remembered very clearly that on the way in, the powerhouses hidden in the dark were all killed by the self-detonation attacks, including celestial god powerhouses, which showed how much importance the treasury placed on it. The treasury was an independent space, and Lin Fei suspected that there were other spaces hidden in it. After searching with his divine sense for a total of 7 to 8 times, Lin Fei smiled and punched a space, opening up another space. Hua hua! As soon as Lin Fei entered, divine power surged. This is divine power. Oh my God, such dense divine power? Lin Fei was like a sponge, and the divine power drilled into his body, making him feel very comfortable. Outsider, who allowed you to come in? Lin Fei was still enjoying it. A black shadow appeared in the sky and pounced at Lin Fei. There's someone else? No, it's not a person. Lin Fei looked over, and the black shadow was actually a beast, and a pair of sharp claws was grabbing at him. Scram! Lin Fei waved his hand, and the divine power palm slapped the beast away, smashing it into a mountain range. I know, the weapon refining sect's patriarch must be hiding in seclusion in this space. Lin Fei scanned with his divine sense and found that this space was even smaller than the treasury, and it was very well hidden. If it wasn't for his sensitivity to space, he would have missed a good place. Only that 5-star, heavenly god of the weapon refining sect could withstand such dense divine power. Come here. Lin Fei reached out, and his giant hand grabbed the beast's neck. His divine sense entered the beast's mind, searching for relevant memories. This beast was slapped by Lin Fei, but it was not injured, but it was far weaker than Lin Fei, and it was still very strong against ordinary 1-star and 2-star heavenly gods. After the beast was searched by his divine sense, its movements also became sluggish. Lin Fei smashed the beast's head with a punch, put it in his storage ring, and brought it back to Hairball as a great tonic. After all, this beast had transformed into a divine body, and it was very useful for Hairball to break through to the divine beast realm. After searching through his memories, Lin Fei also knew the origin of this place. What the old fart said before he died was true. This thing was actually left behind by the weapon refining sex patriarch. No wonder the old fart's realm was so high. Lin Fei knew he came to the right place. After putting away the beast's corpse, Lin Fei flew to a valley in the mountain range. This is the place. There was a restriction array formation in the valley, but it was not activated. Lin Fei easily entered the cave abode in the valley. The old fart didn't activate the restriction array formation, which saved me a lot of trouble. Lin Fei stood in the cave abode with a smile. The biggest harvest of the day was here. The cave abode was not small, and there were many stone rooms built. Lin Fei opened the stone rooms one by one, and there were either supreme-grade materials or high-grade weapons and battlesuits, which were much higher than the treasures outside. Low-grade divine artifact. It's really a low-grade divine artifact. In a stone room, Lin Fei really found low-grade divine artifacts. The only thing that displeased him was that there were only a few of these low-grade divine artifacts in good condition. Basically, they were all damaged. Did this guy go to that battle scene? He actually found so many low-grade divine artifacts and brought them back. Lin Fei did not care whether the low-grade divine artifacts were good or bad. Anyway, he took them back and converted them into divinity points. Roughly estimating the number of low-grade divine artifacts here was at least 1,000. Lin Fei did not stand on ceremony and accepted them. After sweeping through the stone rooms one by one, Lin Fei finally came to the other party's secret cultivation room. Sure enough, he found a storage ring here. It turned out that he did not bring it with him. These godhoods. Before opening the storage ring, Lin Fei noticed that there were a lot of godheads in the surroundings. The same situation as the low-grade divine artifacts happened again. These godhoods were all damaged, either broken in half or missing a third, as if they were violently smashed by someone and did not even have a chance to resist. Chapter 1761. Lin Fei was really shocked. After his 18 divine avatars combined, he could break through to the 3-star divine realm, and his combat power was no weaker than that of a 5-star divine realm. Most importantly, Lin Fei could use a lot of divine power to frequently use big moves. This was something no one could compare with. But even so, Lin Fei still couldn't break the godheads. The defense of the godheads was very terrifying, but now these godheads were damaged to different degrees. The strength of the expert who attacked must be extremely terrifying. Could these godheads all come from the divine tomb? A place popped up in Lin Fei's mind. This place was the place that many people would go to soon. The godheads in the secret room should not come from other places other than the divine tomb. The godheads in the secret chamber made Lin Fei smile from ear to ear. Damaged? It really didn't matter, as long as they were godheads. Hee, it's worth it for these godheads. Lin Fei put away all the damaged godheads and counted 231, which was far beyond Lin Fei's expectations. Maybe I will be able to summon a divine king expert soon. After collecting all the godheads, Lin Fei also found some refining methods, which were useless to him, so he put them in the storage ring. After confirming that there was nothing else, he opened the storage ring and checked. There are also godheads in here, and they are complete. There are actually 38 godheads. Lin Fei soon found that the godheads in the storage ring were not damaged at all. Lin Fei was in a good mood again. He didn't find many divine stones, just millions of high-grade divine stones, which was not a big harvest. In addition to the godheads and divine stones, there were some top-grade materials, some of which were very rare, and each of them would cause a sensation. There's this. In a box, Lin Fei found a map and took it out. The map was yellow and there were many lines on it. Originally, Lin Fei didn't look carefully, but when he caught a glimpse of the 2 words in the corner, he couldn't help but be excited. The Divine Tomb. Damn, I'm so lucky. I actually found a map of the Divine Tomb. Spreading out the map, Lin Fei studied it carefully. With all the good stuff in his hands, Lin Fei did not plan to leave for the time being. Many routes were recorded on the map. These routes were all marked in red, while the rest were all gray. Lin Fei quickly understood the contents of the map and concluded that it was a map of the tomb of the god of sin. The red routes had been explored and marked on it. He had finally figured out the source of the damaged, low-quality battle armor and the damaged godheads. Now that I have the map of the tomb of the god of sin, I can go there myself. Lin Fei didn't know much about the tomb of the god of sin. He only knew that this was a battlefield, and it was a very fierce battle. Now, that place was shrouded in evil qi and was the most dangerous place. He carefully put away the map. This thing was extremely precious. Even a 5-star heavenly god expert had to carefully mark them. One could imagine how dangerous and terrifying the divine tomb was. It was definitely not as simple as people thought. After putting away the items, Lin Fei discovered something about space in the storage ring. It turned out that this space was called the God Refining Space and was refined by the first-generation ancestor of the weapon refining sect back then. At that time, the first-generation sect master was already extremely powerful and was also a great figure above, second only to the divine Emperor Rancor. With the help of the divine Emperor Rancor, he opened the passage and passed down the God Refining Space. The use of the God Refining Space was also very simple. As long as it was a sect master, they could come in to cultivate. Every generation of weapon refining sect had relied on the God Refining Space to become the strongest in weapon refining sect. When he passed down the God Refining Space, he also passed down the offensive techniques of the divine Lord Dharma idol. With the combination of these two, the sect masters of weapon refining sect were the strongest. A God power space refined by a great figure. Doesn't that mean that this entire space contains an unimaginable amount of God power? Lin Fei finally understood why the divine level stone he found in the storage ring were only around 1 million. So that was what was going on. Lin Fei was in no hurry to leave. Wait. When the system finished upgrading, it would absorb all the God power in the entire God power space. At this moment, the entire territory was shocked. The news of the weapon refining sect being swept away by Di Tian alone and being removed from the territory spread like wildfire. No one from that sect was in the sacred pill land. They were lucky enough to survive and immediately sent the news back. The territory was once again shocked. First, he killed more than 10 Empyrean gods, and in the blink of an eye, he destroyed the weapon refining sect. Any one of these two things would cause a sensation. However, what was even more shocking was that the 5-star heavenly god of the weapon refining sect was unable to kill Di Tian. Even after using the divine Lord Dharma idol to attack, he was still killed in the end. This time, the 8 great sects, the 7 overlords, and the other powers were completely moved. No matter how much Di Tian could kill a heavenly god, he could only kill a 1-star heavenly god or a 2-star heavenly god. Whether it was in terms of divine power or attack power, a 5-star heavenly god would increase exponentially. Such an expert was still killed by Di Tian? How could they show off their seniority? Kill Di Tian now? This was not something that 10 or 20 Empyrean gods could do. What a cruel Di Tian. He's so vengeful. The weapon refining sect is really unlucky. In a territory at the Wind Cloud Chamber of Commerce's branch. When Tianyang heard the news, he was also shocked. In such a short time, Di Tian had killed his way to the weapon refining sect and even killed the 5-star heavenly god, Old Ancestor Shur. This was definitely an earth-shattering event. Men, prepare immediately. We're going to the great metropolis realm. Tianyang, who had just left, had no choice but to return to the great metropolis realm. The weapon refining sect had been established for so long and had monopolized the trade of weapons and armor in the territory. Now that Di Tian had wiped them out, everything in the weapon refining sect's treasury would fall into Di Tian's hands. Tianyang was extremely envious of such a huge amount of resources. Luckily, We didn't offend D. Tian back then. That guy really can't hide things. The weapon refining sect really hid things well. They actually have a super powerful 5-star heavenly god. What a pity! In another hell heaven chamber of commerce. Huang Chuan was also the first to receive the news. He was incomparably shocked, and his expression changed completely. Previously, Di Tian was very famous, but his strength was still a flaw. Everyone was afraid of the guy behind him. Now, Di Tian had once again displayed astonishing combat power. Di Tian had truly gained a foothold. Besiege? That would be foolish. Di Tian, the #1 person of the younger generation, no longer had any doubts. Huang Chuan could not sit still either. He ordered his men to prepare warships and rush to the great metropolis realm as soon as possible. He hoped to get the resources in Di Tian's hands. It would be best if they could arrive before the Wind Cloud Chamber of Commerce. No matter how fast their warships were, they would not be as fast as the battle fortress. Chapter 1762. What are the rumors outside? At this moment, Lin Fei, who was in the special space, did not know. After sweeping everything clean in his lair, Lin Fei was in a good mood. He took out the delicacies that he carried and ate leisurely. He would not lose anything this time. What Lin Fei needed to do now was to wait for the system update to end. Time passed in the blink of an eye. When Lin Fei ate the second bottle of wine, the communication jade talisman that he carried with him had a sound. He took it out and saw that it was from Tianyang of the Wind and Cloud Chamber of Commerce. Their reaction is really fast. Lin Fei casually replied. Then he received several messages, other than the Wind and Cloud Chamber of Commerce, Hell and Heaven. There was also Lu Ziyue of the Sky Fortune Building and the Great Commander of Primal Chaos City. Lin Fei expected their reaction as they were well informed. Ding! System update complete. Opening. Just as Lin Fei was thinking, the cold voice that he had not heard for a long time sounded again. The voice that he usually found unpleasant was more familiar to Lin Fei than anyone else. Finally done. After a moment, Lin Fei opened the system and looked forward to it. Little demon. Lin Fei was not in a hurry to look at the system. He called the little demon. Without this fellow by his side, he was not used to it. Dear master, you really did not disappoint me. The first thing you thought of was me. With a flash of light, the little demon flew out with its triangular tail and stood on Lin Fei's shoulder. Damn, you grew up! Compared to before, the little demon had grown up. Lin Fei was shocked. The little demon proudly said, I have to thank Master for being able to reach the heavenly god realm so quickly. The system also improved, and I, as a guide, also improved. Naturally, I grew up. Lin Fei's eyes lit up. You grew up. Did you have new skills? You are not as useless as before, right? The little demon curled its lips and said in a wronged manner, I knew Master would dislike me. Lin Fei was speechless. You are a guide. Is there a need to learn to be wronged? You are not a 3-year-old child. Acting wronged is a very shameless thing to do, just like acting cute. Stop pretending. You little brat, I don't know what you're thinking. Lin Fei mercilessly attacked the little devil. Hee, this is a secret for now. Let's wait until you look at the system. The little demon whet its appetite. Let me remind you, this time the system upgrade, there are many functions that will definitely give you a new experience. So awesome. Lin Fei opened the system, and an interface appeared before him. He pulled out the attributes page. The system was the status page as before. Player. Lin Fei Bloodline. Time Bloodline, Space Bloodline Realm. 1-star Heavenly God Realm Distance, Upgrade Invincibility. 56782524 Divinity Points. 98252274 2 God King Fragment can summon an Eternal God King Powerhouse. Cultivation Technique. God Level 1/Time Technique 4. Space Technique 3. Hongmeng 18 Clones God Level Technique. Position. Mighty Invincible General. A general without an army. requires 100,000 divinity to activate. Experience treasure chest, heavenly god level, can open heavenly god equipment, including upper, middle, and lower. Experience treasure chest temporarily opened. Looking at the new attributes. Lin Fei was first surprised by the upgrade. Damn, this requires 10 billion experience points? Or 10 trillion? Lin Fei was a little confused. Ding, the system is automatically replying. Player has stepped into a new realm. This is a new realm and also a new journey. You have already revealed your invincible state. But this is not enough. The road to invincibility is still very long. And the system is tailor-made for the player to level up. You just need to collect enough divinity. The road to invincibility, it is that simple. Listening to the system's hot-blooded words, Lin Fei blinked at the little demon. It can't be, did I hear wrongly? Leveling up with divinity is enough? All along, Lin Fei was used to leveling up experience. Suddenly replaced by divinity, naturally he was a little unable to adapt. 100 divinity. If this news spread out, who knows how many people would be dumbfounded. You didn't hear wrongly, the system is also right. The road to invincibility is that simple. The little demon said very seriously, as long as the master keeps collecting divinity, leveling up is that simple. Lin Fei admitted that the system made sense. Invincibility was that simple. Who asked him to have the leveling up system? Next, my focus will be on divinity. This is forcing me to snatch divinity from them. Lin Fei touched his nose, pointed at an item on the attribute panel. Then what is this great general? I still need 100,000 divinity. When will I be able to activate it? The little demon smiled. Master, divinity is not that simple. Of course it is to kill people. There is no divinity in this world. Whoever offends you, kill. It is best to exterminate the whole family. 100,000 divinity. It is a piece of cake. All right. Lin Fei really couldn't refute. But this mighty and invincible great general. I still like it. The name sounds very domineering. This experience treasure chest. Will it also be opened in a different way, no longer requiring divinity points to open? Lin Fei temporarily suppressed his curiosity about the great general. This matter couldn't be rushed. Master, you're really smart. This is a new system, so there will definitely be changes. The chests are now divinity chests. So how can they be opened with divinity points? Master can use divinity points to open them. For example, Master can currently open them 10 times a day. As your cultivation increases, you'll only need 50 divinity points to open them. How black-hearted. Lin Fei was very unhappy. This is forcing me to get divinity points. Master, 50 divinity points each time is very cost-effective. If you are lucky, you can also get a mid-grade divine artifact, even a high-grade divine artifact. Compared to that, it is very satisfying. Lin Fei was speechless again. 50 divinity points to be able to draw good things. It was indeed very cost-effective. This was a privilege that belonged to him. Originally, he thought that the divinity points that he had plundered from the nest were not small. But now, it seemed that the divinity points were just beginning to be used. How much would be used up? Lin Fei closed the attribute page and looked at the other pages. Compared to before, the system was more concise. There was no superfluous thing. Divine level technique promotion. On one of the pages, Lin Fei saw the promotion of divine level technique. This was interesting. Lin Fei opened the page. The image changed. Divine level / 1-star battle strength. Can be upgraded to 10 stars. Hongmeng 18 clones. 1-star battle strength. Can be upgraded to 10 stars. The time technique and space technique did not appear. The rest of the techniques did not have the corresponding display. Master, the techniques that you practiced before, the battle strength did not reach 1 star. Only 1-star battle strength will be listed here. Chapter 1763. This function was good. Lin Fei thought to himself, wasn't it just for him? With this function, he might be able to upgrade the 18 primordial god clones. At that time, All his celestial god clones would be 9 stars, celestial god realm. This upgrade isn't cheap, right? The function was out. Lin Fei knew that it would definitely be difficult to upgrade. Master, you guessed it right again. This upgrade also requires godhood. Each upgrade requires 1,000 godhood, and the success rate is not guaranteed. The little demon dealt a heavy blow. Lin Fei rolled his eyes. I knew it wouldn't be cheap. 1,000 godhood for each upgrade. 10 times would require 10,000 godhood. From the looks of it, the number of godhood would increase in the future. He was forced once again. Godhood was still godhood. The 18 primordial god clones were still very important to him. As long as there was a way, Lin Fei wanted to upgrade them. Even if the success rate was low, he had to try. Lin Fei still remembered that when he played this leveling game, he had used countless materials to upgrade his cultivation technique. Lin Fei closed this page and looked at the other pages. Each page was an eye-opener. For example, the embedding page was newly opened. One could embed all kinds of powerful attributes on god armor or god weapons to increase one's overall combat strength. There was even a chance to launch an instant kill, like Holy Strike. Embedding these attributes needed to be bought with godhood. Just like now, godhood had become a common currency. Attribute stones were also divided into 1-star to 10-star attribute stones, and the price went from low to high. Every attribute stone had a success rate and failure rate. Similarly, there were also support tools. Lin Fei suspected that the system had fallen into a money hole. The cash-strapped Lin Fei could only watch for the time being. He really couldn't do anything. Who asked him to lack godhood? After looking through it, Lin Fei understood most of it. Overall, after the leveling system was updated, it showed its strong side. Of course, there was a prerequisite, and that was having godhood. As long as you had godhood, you didn't lack anything. Lin Fei felt like he was just a player. Unfortunately, it was not possible to top up. Otherwise, Lin Fei really wanted to top up a sum of money. After struggling for a while, Lin Fei did not forget something important. This special space was created by a godly venerable one. Is there any way for me to extract my divine power? Lin Fei asked. Lin Fei wasn't sure how many divinity points there were in this special space, but he was sure that it was a terrifying number. That's easy. Have you forgotten about the forceful extraction? Forceful extraction? Lin Fei immediately thought of one of the properties that he had just seen. It seemed to be called forceful extraction. It sounded really cool. He hurriedly opened this page's attribute window. Lin Fei was amused by what he saw. Good, that's great. With this, there's no need to be anxious. Lin Fei applauded. It was really tailor-made. If he had to collect it by himself, who knew how long it would take? The little devil had a disapproving look on his face. It's not as easy as you think after I level up again. Lin Fei was immersed in joy. Collect for me. He opened forceful extraction. Lin Fei only felt the surrounding divinity surging toward him, instantly drowning him in the waves of divinity points. A huge vortex appeared, and the divinity point vortex grew bigger and bigger. Boom! 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 His lair collapsed, unable to resist the divinity point vortex. Lin Fei's leveling system increased his divinity points rapidly like a rocket, breaking through 100 million. This speed was even more terrifying than the last time he absorbed at the Divine Mountain. The divinity point vortex expanded, and wherever it passed, mountains collapsed and the earth cracked. Without the nourishment of divinity, the earth turned into yellow sand, and there was an aura of death. With the divinity point constantly surging, Lin Fei was overjoyed. This is awesome! The system absorbed frantically. Lin Fei knew that he had recovered his capital. After absorbing the divinity point here, all the losses would be recovered. Ding! Congratulations, player, for breaking through 1 trillion divinity points. Ding! Congratulations, player, for breaking through 10 trillion divinity points. A unit of 100 million could not satisfy divinity points. The number of divinity points had also increased from 100 million to trillions. At this time, if Lin Fei attacked, no one could stop his crazy attack. After a storm, they would die without a doubt. In terms of divinity point storage, Lin Fei was probably ranked at the top in the entire territory. Lin Fei was still absorbing divinity points. As his divinity points kept breaking through, Lin Fei was also shocked. The divinity points in this world contained divinity points. How many divine stones had that hierarch expert refined? Unfortunately, the people of the weapon refining sect were not angry, and now they were all given to Lin Fei for free. 800 trillion! For hours later, Lin Fei's divinity points broke through the terrifying level of 100 trillion, and the speed did not stop. Fortunately, the system is here. Otherwise, I can only stare at such a good thing. An expert had a certain amount of divinity points in their body. The weapon refining sect was like a treasure mountain, and he could only use time to absorb and refine it. Lin Fei was now full of divinity points. If I fight with old ancestor stone now, I can directly use 1 trillion divinity points. Won't I completely destroy him? Lin Fei said to himself happily. That feeling was too good. It was a complete and utter suppression. Lin Fei became more and more confident. After the fusion of the 3-star realm, when the divinity points were activated, no one could block his attack. The strong absorption lasted for a full 10 hours. At this time, the space was filled with the aura of death. The mountain range that was originally full of vitality had turned into a piece of yellow sand, and there were no traces of it before. So comfortable. Lin Fei stood up lazily. His original lair had long turned into yellow sand. He now stood on the yellow sand, looked around, and sighed. That expert really invested a lot. Checking the divinity points, it was finally fixed at a terrifying number of 3,000 trillion. Lin Fei was now really a rich man, a big tycoon. Congratulations, Master, for obtaining 3,000 trillion divinity points. The little devil smiled. In the future, if anyone is unhappy, I will slap them to death. Lin Fei also laughed. Yes, slap them to death. I don't know if I will be able to slap them to death if I meet that hierarch shadow again. Thinking about it, I am really looking forward to it. Master can definitely do it. Back then, that hierarch shadow's attack power was not even at the level of 1 trillion. As long as Master can use 1 trillion power, you can block the attack. If it is 10 trillion, you can break through the defense and severely injure the opponent. Lin Fei blinked. You can even calculate this. The little devil laughed. Now that I have advanced, I can naturally calculate this kind of small matter. Moreover, there is something you don't know. You'll find out later. Lin Fei rolled his eyes. You might as well not say it. You are purely baiting me. Chapter 1764. P.S. Only one update today. That D. Tian is still in the weapon refining sect. He has been in there for a long time. Is he recuperating? Why do you care what he is doing in there? He destroyed the entire weapon refining sect in one breath. Even old ancestor Shur seems to have been killed. Who can be blamed for this? I heard that old ancestor Shur coveted D. Tian's invincible weapon refinement technique and arranged for his disciples to surround and annihilate D. Tian. It's a pity that D. Tian is even more terrifying than we imagined. Yes, old ancestor Shur has done this many times in the past. This time he has really hit a wall. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. A ray of sword light slashed over, killing the half-step heavenly deity who was talking. The other half-step heavenly deities also lost their godheads in the blink of an eye. Dog, how dare you speak ill of Big Brother Shur? You deserve to die. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A figure appeared in the sky. This person had a ferocious face and was as tall and sturdy as a giant. He stood in the sky like a ferocious beast. Not good, it is actually him. Xiong Hu. Since he is here, then, the expressions of the onlookers turned ugly. Facing the ferocious man, they did not dare to say anything. The ferocious man was very satisfied with his appearance. Not long after he appeared, 5 people appeared not far away. They stood beside the burly man and ruthlessly released their heavenly god aura, causing the surrounding experts' blood to boil. "First Master, are we late?" A thin, middle-aged man glanced around with a sharp look in his eyes. All the experts who were swept by his gaze felt their breathing quicken. It was as if his gaze could see through their hearts. "You, come here." The burly man pointed. A 1-star heavenly god, not far away, could not help but come over. There were also some 1-star heavenly gods not far away. Their expressions were even more shocked. "Tell me what you know." That heavenly deity's expression and movements became extremely stiff. He recounted everything that had happened before clearly without missing a single detail. "We want to avenge Big Brother Shur. Big Brother Shur died, so miserably. He killed Ditian. This person really deserves to die." The 5 people behind the burly man all shouted angrily. The burly man's eyes flashed as he communicated with his divine sense. "We didn't come too late. I didn't expect that Big Brother Shur, who has been so wise all his life, would eventually fall into the hands of a young man. This time we can legitimately act. It can only be said that Ditian's luck is bad. Big Brother, you're the smart one. If we attack Ditian now, no one can say anything. As long as we kill Ditian, not only will the weapon refining school's treasures belong to us, even his invincible weapon will belong to us. Ditian can kill old Ancestor Shur. Isn't it a little risky for the 6 of us to make a move? Number 5, you are too cowardly. Who doesn't know that our elder brother is the most proficient in scheming? If he wants to act, he would definitely be confident in winning. Also, Ditian just fought a huge battle and his divine energy has been greatly depleted. How can he be our opponent? That's right. With Big Brother scheming, taking down Ditian will be a piece of cake. Don't forget who we are. We are the 6 tigers of Heavenly Dragon. Just mentioning our names. Who doesn't know that we are the most savage? The 5 of them were constantly communicating with each other using their divine senses. All of them had the same goal, to take down Ditian. Since he hasn't come out yet, let's set up a formation and catch him off guard. The burly man and the others all started to move. Many heavenly gods were watching coldly from afar. Even if they were discussing, they were very careful. As for stopping them, that was simply impossible. I didn't expect the 6 tigers of Heavenly Dragon to come. All of them came at once. This time, Ditian is in trouble. Rumor has it that the boss of the 6 tigers of Heavenly Dragon, Xiong Hu, was a friend of old Ancestor Shur. His strength is not low. I suspect that he is a 4-star heavenly god. They are also shameless. They are clearly here for the weapon refining school's treasure, but they have the nerve to say that they are here to avenge old Ancestor Shur. Since the 6 tigers of Heavenly Dragon are here, others can forget about interfering. They are taking advantage of us. The people outside were all from the territory. It was impossible to say that they were not moved by the weapon refining school's treasures. However, with a terrifying demon present, no one dared to act rashly. The shock that Ditian brought to them was something that they would never forget for the rest of their lives. Although the treasure was good, they did not dare to make a move. For the sake of their lives, it was better not to interfere. Up in the void, there were a few powerful beings who were secretly observing the situation. The 6 tigers of Heavenly Dragon came at the right time. They can test Ditian. Such a big piece of meat, Ditian is not afraid of swallowing it. If he eats the meat, he has to leave us some soup. If Ditian shows signs of weakness, don't blame us for being ruthless. The weakest of these experts was a 3-star heavenly god. The weapon refining school was swept away, and old Ancestor Shur was killed on the spot. The news spread quickly, and many experts came to check it out. When they heard that Tian went to the treasure, some of the experts had ideas. Could they watch from the side? If they were not careful, they might be able to tear off a piece of meat from Tian. They did not believe that Tian could still retain his battle strength after using so many powerful moves. Maybe he went to the treasure to recover his strength. Otherwise, he would not have gone for such a long time. Everyone began to get restless. Wait, the arrival of the 6 tigers of Heavenly Dragon did not make everyone happy. These 6 tigers were strong and were proficient in an ancient combination technique. Their battle strength was not inferior to old ancestor Shurs. It could be said that they had the battle strength of a 4-star heavenly god, or even a peak battle strength. Everyone might as well hide and watch the show. The 6 tigers of Heavenly Dragon quickly set up the array. Tian swept through the weapon refining school, and many people did not like him. Naturally, no one would say anything. The sky was silent. Everyone seemed to be waiting for something. After an unknown period of time, just as everyone was wondering if Tian had left the weapon refining school's treasure vault, a figure flew out from below and appeared in the sky. Tian. Everyone's eyes lit up. He finally came out. Big brother Shur, I'm here to take revenge for you. Activate the array. An angry roar echoed in the sky above the weapon refining school. With a loud rumble, the huge array was activated. The originally clear sky was instantly filled with dark clouds. Lightning pillars, as thick as buckets, soared into the sky, one after another. There were a total of 99 pillars that stood between heaven and earth. The berserk lightning also gave everyone a fright. Someone exclaimed, "The 6 tigers of Heavenly Dragon are so generous. They actually set up the 10 ultimate lightning dragon killing array." Many people had heard of this name, but they had never seen it with their own eyes. When they heard the name of the array, they could not remain calm again. Chapter 1765. The huge territory was now completely affected by the berserk aura. Any heavenly god could sense the terrifying aura brought by the formation. It was a real killing formation. When the heavenly dragons and 6 tigers were activated, its power doubled again. It was a killing move to deal with Tian. It was even more terrifying than Patriarch Shur. No matter what happened after the battle, Tian would inevitably be severely injured. They might even be able to take advantage of the situation. No one was optimistic about Tian. The 6 people in the formation each controlled an array flag. Seeing that Tian was trapped in the killing formation, Xiong, whose eyes flashed with joy. In order to deal with Tian, they had paid a huge price and rushed over immediately. Wasn't it for this moment? 3rd brother, 4th brother, move. Don't give him a chance to attack. Xiong, who controlled the center of the formation, while his brothers each controlled a portion. The formation was activated. Roar! With a series of loud roars, the 99 lightning pillars turned into giant lightning dragons that were 100,000 feet long. They were ferocious and spat out lightning. Violent lightning filled the formation. Master, you're lucky. Someone came to die as soon as you came out. Amidst the violent lightning, a battle armor appeared on Lin Fei's body. Traces of lightning swept over, but they were shattered by the saber intent before they could reach him. There are so many people who aren't afraid of death. Anger flashed in Lin Fei's eyes. Avenge Patriarch Shur? What a lousy excuse. Being trapped by the formation for no reason. Lin Fei was in a bad mood. These people really didn't know how to write the word death. That's good. Since my strength has improved, I'll start with them. The heavenly god, saber appeared in his hand. Master, the offensive power of this killing formation is not bad. It has the combat power of a peak 5-star heavenly god, and it has 99 lightning dragons. It can be said to be a perfect killing formation. Unfortunately, there are a few weak spots in this formation. The refinement is not very perfect. Master, you can start from there and break the formation. When the time comes, you can obtain a killing formation. Lin Fei's mood improved after hearing the little devil's words. With the combat power of a peak 5-star heavenly god, this killing formation had become very valuable. Under the control of the Grand Formation, the 99 lightning dragons spat out lightning balls. In the blink of an eye, over 100 lightning balls had arrived. The power of each lightning ball was equivalent to that of a 5-star heavenly god. Lin Fei's HP also surged. The attack of over 100 thunderballs was indeed quite terrifying. Slow down time. Lin Fei used a time technique, and time energy flowed towards the balls of lightning. The terrifying balls of lightning instantly stopped. Master here. The imp pointed in a certain direction. Lin Fei flashed past and charged in the direction he pointed. Open. The heavenly deity War Saber struck one of the positions, and a door appeared in the seemingly empty space. There was a person sitting cross-legged inside the door, controlling a formation flag. This was the Black Tiger of the Heavenly Dragons and 6 tigers. Big brother, it's not good. He's killing his way in. Damn it, how does he know where the door is? The Black Tiger, who was sitting cross-legged, was horrified as if he had seen a ghost. They were very clear about the prowess of this killing formation. The attacks of over 100 5-star heavenly gods were not that easy to dodge. No matter what, they had to pay a price. As long as the other party was injured, the follow-up killing moves would be endless. Their location wasn't that easy to see through. Black Tiger naturally felt a wave of horror. The other party was too fast, as if they had identified his position. Black Tiger, hold on, we're coming. Lin Fei rushed into the door and saw a sinister middle-aged man with cold killing intent. It was clear that he was a bloodthirsty person, and his murderous aura soared into the sky. You guys have guts. Ancestor Shirt is already dead, and you still dare to attack me. Since you want to avenge Ancestor Shirt, then go down and accompany them. Lin Fei raised the heavenly deity War Saber in his hand and slashed out in a straight line. Thunder Shield. Black Tiger activated the formation flag. Lightning gathered, and a large shield appeared in front of him. Crack! The saber light was overbearing, like an invincible beast pushing against the Thunder Shield. The indestructible Thunder Shield shattered. Black Tiger's heart sank, and the saber light had already crushed his body. A godhead fell out of his hand. Ding, dropped a godhead. Do you want to use it to level up? As soon as the godhead appeared, the system notified. Okay, on the system's attribute page, there was an additional 1/100 in the upgrade section. Awesome. With this slash, a 2-star heavenly god was killed. Lin Fei did not care much about the energy consumed. Ding, detected storage ring. There are 15 godheads inside. Do you want to withdraw them all? The system notified again. Lin Fei blinked. Such a fast reaction. The little devil said proudly, Master, you don't know this, but once the system is upgraded, the function is even more perfect. As long as the items dropped by killing people, the system will automatically withdraw them. Lin Fei laughed. This can be done. Withdraw. Ding, congratulations, player, on obtaining 15 godheads. Ding, congratulations, player, on obtaining 6 God King fragments. In the blink of an eye, Lin Fei was only 84 godheads away from becoming a 2-star heavenly god. Where's the next one? Lin Fei licked his lips. One had 15 godheads. The other 5 were probably enough for him to become a 2-star heavenly god. East of you, 530 zhang. Lin Fei's divinity flashed, and he moved again. Inside the formation, the power of time was much stronger than before. Even the Thunder Dragon had slowed down. The leader, Xiong Hu, was very confident in this ambush. He predicted that Di Tian's strength would not be able to recover in a short time. As long as the Thunder Dragon surrounded Di Tian, the matter would be half done. Big brother, not good. Third brother's position is out of control. Second brother transmitted his voice over. He was no longer calm, and there was a hint of panic in his voice. Xiong, who sensed that the aura of the third brother, Black Tiger, had really disappeared. His expression turned ugly. Hold on, this is Tian's trick. Our position is constantly changing. Tian can't enter, and even if he does, he can't break through the defense of the Thunder Shield. Xiong, whose words were just transmitted out. Cries for help came from other positions. Big brother, not good, he's coming in. We can't stop him. Big brother, quick! Xiong, who was restless. Hurry up and reply. Are you guys still there? Xiong, who suddenly felt a sense of unease. A grand killing formation was so easily broken by someone. Xiong, who was unwilling, truly unwilling. No need to shout, your people are all dead. Suddenly, the space in front of him trembled. A figure barged in, appearing in front of Xiong, who, I like this formation of yours. It belongs to me now. Lin Fei waved his heavenly deity saber. Divine power surged out, slashing toward Xiong Hu. Divine power, 1 trillion. Chapter 1766. 1 trillion God power attack. Killing is as easy as drinking water. Lin Fei, who had 300 trillion God power, directly used a large amount of damage to deal with such an expert. Xiong, whose strength was not bad, but he was not a 5-star celestial god. One attacked ferociously, the other didn't know his background, so he naturally suffered a huge loss. Ding, dropped a god core. Ding, discovered 25 god cores. Ding, do you want to level them all up? Lin Fei didn't care where they came from. The only thing he was happy about was that they gave him the god cores. 6 of them killed. That was a total of 100 God Cores contribution points. Such a good thing was hard to find. Ding, level up complete. Congratulations, player, for entering 2-star Celestial God Realm. Ding, obtained 5 God King shards. Ding, player, keep up the good work. Lin Fei blinked. I leveled up just like that. I don't feel anything. Opening the stats page, he really did rise to 2-star Celestial God Realm. The God King shards also increased to 41 God King shards. Leveling up is too fast. I'm already 2-star Celestial God Realm. Lin Fei really couldn't get used to this leveling up feeling. The little devil wasn't surprised. You'll get used to it after a few more times. Don't you feel good now? Lin Fei nodded. It does feel good, especially when we fought just now. The system analyzed that the opponent's attack is the strongest. This kind of crushing is really interesting. 1 trillion God power, killing Xiong, who, the attack power was above the opponent's attack. This kind of attack was just right. The attack power is too high. I need to replenish God power too. Otherwise, I'll become a pauper. Lin Fei touched his chin. If people sent themselves to him every day, he wouldn't have to worry about leveling up. The killing formation in the sky was still there. Outsiders couldn't see through the situation inside, and no one used their divine senses to check. No one was willing to go to 6 tigers. Suddenly, the violent aura disappeared without a trace. The killing formation in the sky also disappeared, returning to its original state. After the killing formation dispersed, a young man appeared in the sky, dressed in black robes. At this moment, he was like a towering mountain, destined to never be crossed in his lifetime. It's Tian, the heavenly dragons, and 6 tigers lost. Luckily, I didn't attack. The heavenly god, powerhouse, hiding in the void, did not dare to linger any longer. He hurriedly left. In the blink of an eye, all the experts who had planned to take advantage of the situation had run away. He didn't even think about making a move. The scene instantly quietened down. No one dared to act again. The infamous heavenly dragons and 6 tigers were all killed, and the killing formation also landed in Tian's hands. How tyrannical was this? What was most unbelievable was that the entire process was simply too short. What a fast runner! Lin Fei's divine sense swept out and did not see any celestial deity powerhouses in the void. He was nowhere to be seen. Originally, I wanted to kill a few more. After all, a 2-star heavenly god needs 1,000 divine deity to become a 3-star heavenly god. The little devil chuckled and said, "You're infamous now, and so are the heavenly dragons and 6 tigers. Didn't they all die in your hands? It won't be long before your infamous name will be known by everyone." The news could not be hidden. When Ditian was called the #1 expert of the younger generation, many people were skeptical and dissatisfied. But not long after, he swept through the crafting sect, killed Patriarch Stone, and exterminated the infamous heavenly dragons and 6 tigers. The weave was shaken once again. No one could stop the rise of a new force. Previously, there were even some experts who wanted to challenge Ditian, but now they were all convinced. In the territory, who didn't know the status of the crafting sect, because the crafting sect coveted an invincible weapon refinement technique. In the end, they lost both their soldiers and their wives. How could people not be shocked? Ditian's strength was also pushed to a terrifying level. Some people said that Ditian had the battle prowess of a 5-star heavenly god. Some people said that Ditian's battle prowess was already that of a 6-star heavenly god, or even a 7-star heavenly god. All kinds of rumors were spread. The 8 great sects and 7 overlords. After receiving the news, the 7 overlords first announced that Ditian would be the 8th overlord after the 7 overlords. When the news came out, everyone was in an uproar. The status of the 7 overlords was almost the same as the 8 great sections. At least, the 8 great sects could not do anything to the 7 or 8 overlords. Hence, the current situation. There had been people who wanted to be the 8th overlord a long time ago. Unfortunately, until now, no one had been able to sit on the position. The fact that the 7 overlords had all acknowledged Ditian as the 8th overlord could be said to be an explosive piece of news, causing everyone to be agitated. After the news came out, the commander of the ancient kingdom of Chaos sent a message, congratulating Ditian for becoming the 8th overlord and asking the 2 to interact more. 2 of the 3 chambers of commerce also sent congratulatory messages to Ditian. This time, the 8 great sects were strangely silent. They did not say anything. Just like that, Ditian became the 8th overlord. In the great metropolis realm, Tianyang and Huang Chuan arrived at almost the same time. When they came to the great metropolis realm again, the 2 sighed. Whether it was sweeping through the weapon refining sect or becoming the 8th overlord, it was big news in the territory. The invincible palace that Ditian had created had also become a new force in the territory. Its status was on the same level as the 8 great sects and the 7 overlords. The only difference was their strength. When the 2 arrived, the immortals of the great metropolis realm congratulated Ditian. Some experts who lived in the great metropolis realm for a long time were also considering whether to join the invincible palace. Congratulations, fellow Taoist, for becoming the 8th overlord. This is a little gift from the Wind and Cloud Chamber of Commerce. Tianyang gave a generous gift. They were all godhoods. There were 100 godhoods in total. Lin Fei did not stand on ceremony and accepted it. Fellow Taoist Tian, thank you. Huang Chuan did not want to be left behind. He also gave a generous gift, also 100 godhoods. The 2 had done some research on Ditian. He might not be interested in ordinary things, but he might like godhoods very much. This gift was indeed the right choice. You're too kind. With 200 godhoods in hand, Lin Fei was in a good mood. He really wanted to thank the 7 overlords for sending out the news. No matter what their motives were, at least he had obtained 200 godhoods. Lin Fei said it casually. Tianyang and Huang Chuan did not dare to take it seriously. The 2 first exchanged greetings. Suddenly, Tianyang and Huang Chuan's eyes flashed with surprise. They noticed that Ditian's strength had unknowingly reached the 2-star celestial god realm. Wasn't this a little too fast? Even a rocket would not be this fast. The 2 were even more glad that they had come as soon as possible. Otherwise, they would have underestimated D. Tian, and the two large chambers of commerce would have suffered greater losses. They were still counting on the resources that D. Tian had looted. Chapter 1767. Tianyang and Huang Chuan paid a visit to D. Tian. This was already treating D. Tian's invincible palace as an equal. Otherwise, they wouldn't have rushed to the great metropolis world and sent such a huge gift. Taking out 100 godhoods in one go was not something that just any faction could do. The two merchant associations were rich and overbearing. They didn't care about 100 godhoods. They had plenty of ways to get them. The two merchant associations felt that it was worth it to use godhoods to express their goodwill to D. Tian. That day, the two merchant associations gave D. Tian news about the weapon refining sect. The two didn't expect D. Tian to act immediately. Once the news spread, they were stimulated. He didn't drag his feet. He said he would wipe out the weapon refining sect. Such a person was not to be offended. Leaving Invincible Palace, both Tianyang and Huang Chuan were in a good mood. D. Tian made it clear that he would take out a portion of the resources and hand it over to the two merchant associations to auction. This was also their main goal. Looks like I really have to thank the 7 overlords for helping me stabilize my position as the 8th overlord. Otherwise, Tianyang and Huang Chuan, those two old foxes, might not have sent me such a huge gift. 200 godhoods were in his hands. The quality was very good. For the first time, Lin Fei felt that reputation was quite good. He could get many benefits. I wonder if the 7 overlords will send a gift as well. Lin Fei touched his chin and muttered to himself. No matter what the 7 overlords' motives were, Lin Fei understood his role in the territory. Now, what Lin Fei needed to do was to extract the God King shards. Inside the battle fortress, Lin Fei opened the system and used the 200 godhoods to level up. At the same time, he could extract the God King shards. 200 godhoods. The system kept sending him messages. Ding, obtained a God King shard. Ding, obtained a God King shard. Ding, obtained a God King shard. Compared to the previous draws, these 200 godhoods had a higher chance. Lin Fei smiled. He wondered if he should buy a batch of godhoods from the two merchant associations for him to level up. There was no limit to the system's need for godhood, as long as it was godhood. If he could get a batch of divine deity from the two great chamber of commerce, it would undoubtedly reduce a lot of pressure. After the system was upgraded, it needed divine deity everywhere. 200 divine deity, plus some of the divine deity from before, could be said to be a drop in the bucket, far from meeting Lin Fei's needs. Ding! Congratulations to player for obtaining 100 Godhead fragments. Ding! Do you wish to summon a God King? Lin Fei's eyes lit up, and he threw the matter of the Godhead to the back of his mind. Even though he was very strong now, the Invincible Palace still lacked a true expert to hold the fort. With a God King expert, things would be completely different. Lin Fei was very excited now. I'll summon it right away. Lin Fei couldn't wait any longer. He couldn't wait for the system to immediately summon a godly king powerhouse. Ding! Player has summoned a God King. Summoning will begin now. Please wait a moment. On the status page, a large screen appeared. Many faces flashed across the screen. Some were fierce, some were gentle, and there were countless of them. After a full 10 breaths of time, the constantly moving image finally stopped on a certain face. Ding! Summoning successful. Obtained a 1-star God King. Learned a 2-star combat skill. Chaotic splitting wind hammer technique. Good at close combat. Skill can increase one's attack by 5 times. Lin Fei was very shocked. The God King that he had extracted seemed to have pretty good attributes. There was even an increase in attack. Although it was only 5 times, it was still pretty awesome. Lin Fei didn't have high expectations for a God King. Just the 2 words God King were awesome enough. It represented strength. Hua! In the secret room, there was a flash of light. A burly bald man appeared in the secret room. A murderous aura rushed over, and the burly man knelt on the ground on one knee. Great Master! Ron is willing to follow Master for life. I will fight on the battlefield for Master. Kill, 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 kill. Once the 4 words kill came out, the secret room turned into a battlefield. Very strong. Lin Fei was full of praises. These 100 God King fragments were really worth it. From today onwards, you are my man. Lin Fei was very satisfied. Just the murderous aura released was terrifying, not to mention attacking. Okay, you can stand up now. Ron stood up and stood behind Lin Fei without saying a word. He seemed to have become a bodyguard. Lin Fei quickly discovered something else. The summoned God King expert was naked. Other than the clothes on his body, he didn't have anything else. System, do you have to be so stingy? No matter what, you have to prepare a set of God King equipment. Lin Fei cursed. This was forcing him to bleed. Helpless, Lin Fei could only take out low-grade God artifacts and low-grade battle clothes for Ron to change into. Master, it's too late. It's best to prepare a dozen more for me, especially low-grade God artifacts. My strength is too great. The weapons can't withstand my strength. Ron was expressionless. Okay, a dozen could still be taken out. I still lack God sparks. In old Ancestor Stone's lair, Lin Fei had obtained over 200 God sparks. Most of them were incomplete, and he used them to level up. He didn't exchange for many God King fragments. Ding! Congratulations to player Lin Fei for summoning the first God King. Ding! Player Lin Fei can continue to draw fragments to summon Heavenly God experts. Lin Fei blinked. I can still summon God King. The system had an answer this time. Ding! Due to the restrictions of the player's level, you can no longer summon God King. You can only summon Heavenly God experts. Only when you advance to the God King realm can you summon God King experts. This poured a bucket of cold water on Lin Fei. Very soon, Lin Fei thought it through. I'm still not satisfied. I'll be satisfied with one God King expert. Anyway, I can summon Heavenly God experts. With more Heavenly God experts, I can suppress the God King, right? Lin Fei laughed at himself. He immediately opened the system and checked the Heavenly God summoning. 100 Heavenly God fragments. That's not a lot. Moreover, it's random. If I'm lucky, I can draw 9 stars Heavenly God? That would be awesome. Lin Fei soon felt bitter. He didn't have a God spark. Not to mention 100 God sparks. He didn't even have a single God spark in his storage ring. He could only stare blankly for now. I need to find a place to get God sparks. Lin Fei felt that it was necessary to list this matter as the most important matter at the moment. It was more important than anything else. After Tian Yang and Huang Chuan paid a visit to Di Tian, the Grand Commander of the chaotic ancient country, the Dark Overlord, and a few other overlords also arranged for people to send gifts. Other than the Grand Commander and the Dark Overlord, who sent 20 God sparks, the other overlords all sent ordinary gifts. Although they looked good, they were useless to Lin Fei. Lin Fei didn't expect them to give him God sparks the moment they arrived. Back then, 4 of the overlords wanted to sneak attack him. It would be strange if they gave him God sparks. Lin Fei shifted his focus to God sparks. With God King experts around, there were some things that he could do. For example, Chapter 1768. Tian Yang and Huang Chuan settled down in the Great Metropolis World. Great Metropolis World was changing every day. The appearance of the 8th Overlord attracted many people to join the Invincible Palace, especially the heavenly gods who had been wandering outside. They all hoped to join a powerful faction. The Invincible Palace was the best choice. If they joined now, they might even become a founding elder. This was impossible in other factions, because they didn't have the qualifications. The Invincible Palace had just been built, and it wasn't well known. Now was the best time to join. When the two received Di Tian's message, they were both shocked. Information on the dragon race? Tian Yang's heart skipped a beat after sending them out. A strange look flashed across his face. Is Di Tian going to make a move on the dragon race again? After the incident with the weapon refining sect, Tian Yang didn't dare to underestimate Di Tian's actions. If he had reacted in time, he would have gained far more benefits than now. Once this thought appeared, it couldn't be stopped. The dragon race was a powerful race in the domain. The Phoenix race and a few other limited races were considered the strongest races in the domain. Every race was a colossus. It was unbelievable that Di Tian was going to make a move on the dragon race. Go and investigate immediately. Also, report to headquarters. Tell them to send us the most detailed information on the dragon race. Tian Yang was decisive. Whether Di Tian was going to make a move on the dragon race or not, it was a good thing for Tian Yang. On the other side, Huang Chuan was equally shocked. His actions were the same as Tian Yang's. He didn't dare to underestimate Di Tian anymore. If Di Tian could make the dragon race suffer, it would definitely be a good thing. Master, did I hear wrongly? You want to bring us back to the dragon race? When 9 Dragon King was called over, he didn't know what was going on. When he heard that he was going back to the dragon race, he couldn't stay calm anymore. 9 Dragon King had been looking forward to this day for a long time. But now, he wasn't interested in returning to the dragon race anymore. Ever since he came to the great metropolis world, the dragon race's life had been very comfortable. 9 Dragon King didn't want to go back. No matter how good the dragon race was, it wasn't as good as following Di Tian. Ever since he followed Di Tian's growth was terrifying. Back when he was in the Dark Knight Galaxy, his strength had not been too high. However, after he had gone out, his strength had advanced by leaps and bounds. He had even slain the powerful 5-star celestial gods of the crafting sect, one after another. Right now, there were many people who referred to Di Tian as a god slayer specialist. This was because the number of Empyrean gods that had died at Di Tian's hands far exceeded the number of Empyrean gods that had been killed by ordinary Empyrean gods. 9 Dragons King saw all of this. Recently, Di Tian had become the 8th overlord. His status and influence were already on par with the 8 sects and the 7 overlords. This kind of speed was not something that just anyone could compare to. For the sake of the dragon race, 9 Dragon King felt that following Di Tian was better than returning to the dragon race. Looking at the current Yun family, their influence in the Dark Knight Galaxy was mediocre. Right now, the Yun clan was in charge of the invincible palace in the great metropolis heaven, and was like a steward. And you didn't hear wrongly. Back then, when I brought you out, I promised you that one day I would bring you back to the dragon tribe. I will never forget my promise. Lin Fei wasn't sure what the 9 Dragons King was thinking. Bringing the 9 Dragons King back was, in fact, for the dragon tribe's godheads. The dragon tribe had a habit of collecting treasures. On top of that, they were one of the strongest tribes. They definitely had a lot of godheads. The mid-grade celestial god weapons, cultivation techniques, and clones that he wanted all required godheads. With a legitimate reason to make a move, how could Lin Fei miss it? If it were in the past, Lin Fei might have been wary of the strongest tribe. Who knew? There might be some old monster that could summon a God King expert. Although he was only a 1-star God King, his attack power would increase by 5 times. Even if he encountered a 2-star God King, he might be able to hold his own. This was where Lin Fei's confidence came from. The 9 Dragons King was touched. He knew better than anyone that the dragon tribe was still very strong. The 10 Dragon King bloodlines had many experts, and Di Tian had promised to bring them back. One could imagine how difficult it would be. Master, it's fine if you return to the dragon clan. Our dragon clan is living a good life. I believe that my bloodline of dragon clan will not hold any grudges against you. This old man does not wish for Master to fall into danger and gain another enemy. the Nine Dragon King said emotionally. Lin Fei had never imagined that the Nine Dragons King would say something like this. His heart warmed. He understood very well what the Nine Dragons King meant. Wasn't the Nine Dragons King worried that he might be surrounded by the Dragon Clan's experts? Although the crafting sect was strong with Ancestor Shur, a 5-star heavenly god, overseeing it, their foundation was not bad. However, compared to the strongest tribe, the Dragon Tribe, the gap was too big. The strongest tribe, the Dragon Tribe, was born to fight. It was not something the crafting sect could compare to. They had more old monsters than the crafting sect. Among the old monsters at the 5-star heavenly god realm, there were at least 8 to 10 of them. Their powerful bodies allowed them to fight against 2 5-star heavenly god realm experts, and 8 to 10 of them could fight against more than 25-star heavenly god realm experts. This was the confidence of the strongest tribe. Lin Fei suddenly burst into laughter. Dragon King, you were the strongest Dragon King in the past. Have you lost your fighting spirit after so many years? Even I, as your master, am not afraid, so what are you afraid of? In my eyes, the Dragon Tribe is just that. You're my people. So, as your master, I have to stand up for you. Not to mention, I have a lot of enemies now. The 8 major sects hate me to the core, and so do the 7 overlords. Since there are so many of them, one more won't make a difference. Don't you think so? If you're still the strongest Dragon King in the past, then come with me. I'll tell the Dragon Tribe that you were the strongest Dragon King in the past, and you're still the same now. It had been a long, long time since the Nine Dragons King heard the words, strongest Dragon King. In the past, for this bloodline, he had led his people into the Dark Night Galaxy, drifting year after year. His mentality had been erased, and he only hoped that his people could survive and multiply. At this moment, the blood in the Nine Dragons King's bones was ignited once again. Yes, I was the strongest Dragon King in the past, the future Dragon God. If even Master isn't afraid, why should I be? Nine Dragons King's eyes shone with a fearless fighting spirit. No, this old man isn't afraid. Nine Dragons King's blood boiled. This old man is willing to accompany Master. Even if it's a mountain of daggers or a sea of fire, I won't even frown. Nine Dragons King seemed to have returned to the days when he was in high spirits. Lin Fei was satisfied. Good, that's more like it. You're the strongest Dragon King, the successor. If you weren't at the Dragon God realm, how could you be the strongest Dragon King? Now, I'll help you become the strongest Dragon God. Chapter 1769. Boom, boom, boom. With Lin Fei's help, Nine Dragon King's aura continued to break through. With the support of his thick god force, he broke through the half-step heavenly god realm and stepped into the true heavenly god realm, becoming a heavenly god. Nine Dragon King's strength soared after becoming a 1-star heavenly god. He could also use many heavenly god secret techniques. Originally, a 1-star heavenly god's battle prowess was comparable to a 2-star heavenly god. Lin Fei was not surprised at all. The dragon race was known as one of the strongest races. Fighting across realms was as easy as drinking water. There was nothing to be shocked about. Moreover, Nine Dragon King was the most talented among the 10 Dragon Kings. His battle prowess was not exaggerated. Lin Fei was not stingy. He rewarded Nine Dragon King with low-grade divine armors and low-grade divine artifacts to improve his battle prowess. In order to stabilize his battle prowess, Lin Fei sent Nine Dragon King back for a while. Wind Cloud Commerce and Hell Heaven Commerce also sent news of the dragon race in the shortest time possible. Tianyang and Huang Chuan received a portion of the crafting sect's resources as they wished. They were overjoyed. With this batch of resources, they could suppress world commerce and widen the gap between them. After probing, they found out why Di Tian wanted to go to the dragon race. It was because of Nine Dragon King. What happened to the dragon race in the past was not a secret. It was not difficult for the two sects to find out. They could not help but mourn for the dragon race. The crafting sect was swept clean and about to be removed from the world. They did not know what happened to the dragon race. They were looking forward to it. Fellow Taoist Tian, if you go to the dragon race and have the opportunity, why not bring back some god bones? Our wind cloud commerce is willing to buy them at a high price. Tianyang said with a smile. Huang Chuan did not want to fall behind. Hell heaven is the same. Both saw an opportunity. They could not miss such an opportunity. Whether they could get it or not, it was not a problem to say it first. That's easy. Lin Fei agreed readily. After sending the two off, Lin Fei flipped through the information. He had to admit that the information sent over by the two sects was very detailed. There was nothing missing. One of the strongest races, it really lives up to its reputation. Lin Fei flipped through the information and sighed. Just the Dragon Clan alone has a total of 10 bloodlines. Although the 9 Dragon King bloodline is missing, there are still 9 Dragon King bloodlines left. Each bloodline has given birth to countless experts. Half-step, heavenly gods, and heavenly gods are also considered a huge number. Lin Fei was not afraid at all. I don't believe that the Dragon Clan has a god king overseeing it. Lin Fei closed the information and gained a rough understanding of the Dragon Clan. The news of the Dragon Clan returning to the Dragon Clan's base camp still made the entire Dragon Clan extremely excited, especially some of the older clansmen who were looking forward to returning. Most of the clansmen had no interest in the Dragon Clan's headquarters. They were very satisfied with their current life. With the backing of an overlord, a professional god-slaying expert, the dragon race grew bolder and bolder. It would not take long for them to regain their domineering and peerless self. The 9 Dragon Kings' ascension to Heavenly God also made the entire Dragon Clan excited. Their bloodline finally had a Heavenly God. For this day, they too had been looking forward to it for a long time. If not for the lack of resources, their bloodline would have produced a Heavenly God long ago. While 9 Dragon King was consolidating his cultivation, Lin Fei was not idling around. He took out the killing formation he had obtained from the heavenly dragons and 6 tigers and set it up outside the great metropolis heaven. Using a vast amount of divine stones, he set up the killing formation and hid it in the void. This was also one of the reasons why Lin Fei could go out without worry. As long as this killing formation was activated, it could kill a 4 or even 5-star heavenly god. This kind of attack could be used 3 times. For these 3 times, Lin Fei could be said to have invested a lot of capital. Now that he had a notorious reputation, no one dared to cause trouble. Leaving a heavenly god behind was enough. On the 5th day after 9 Dragon Kings stabilized his cultivation, Lin Fei kept the Dragon Clan in the battle fortress. After making arrangements for his family, he set off with the Dragon Clan to the Dragon Clan's base camp, the Divine Dragon Domain. The Draconic Divinity Domain was more than a dozen great domains away from the great metropolis realm, and the distance between each domain was enormous. Only Lin Fei's battle fortress would be able to traverse the distance in a short amount of time. Inside the battle fortress, most of the Dragon Clan went there, except for some who were unwilling to go. Long Xianming, the great elder, also went there. It was the place where he grew up. He also brought his son and daughter there. The battle fortress was very fast. One after another, it passed through 7 or 8 domains. During this time, no one noticed that the battle fortress was moving. At this speed, it would not take long for them to reach the Divine Dragon Domain. Master, there seems to be a branch of the World Commerce Chamber in the domain ahead. Do you want to go there? Little Fiend sat on Lin Fei's shoulder, swinging his black inverted triangular tail. World Commerce Chamber. Lin Fei had some impression of the World Commerce Chamber. Back then, the 3rd young Master Feng had acted tyrannically because of his powerful background. In the end, he had been banished to some unknown place. Lin Fei did not have a very good impression of the World Commerce Chamber. That's right. Don't you need godheads? You might be able to obtain some godheads if you go there. Anyway, you have a reason to make a move. Moreover, everyone in the entire domain knows about your fierce name, Tion. Little Fiend egged him on. At the mention of godheads, Lin Fei was really tempted. He was going to the Dragon Clan to obtain godheads. Along the way, it was not impossible to collect some interest from the World Commerce Chamber. After all, the third young Master Feng had offended him. That makes a lot of sense. As a demon god, I should also pay a visit to them. Lin Fei activated the battle fortress and entered the divine dragon domain. Along the way, Lin Fei did not disguise himself at all. He went straight to the most bustling city in the domain. The appearance of the battle fortress still scared the passers-by. They thought that an overlord was coming. The ruler of this domain was a 6-star heavenly god. His name was Heavenly Soul Suppressing God. When he learned that an overlord was coming, he immediately showed himself. No overlord could be offended. There was nothing wrong with treating the other party well. May I know which overlord has come? Please show yourself. Heavenly Soul Suppressing God transmitted his divine sense to the battle fortress. I am Lin Fei of the Invincible Palace. I am just passing by. I have no other intentions. Lin Fei replied with his divine sense. Suddenly there was no response. This made Lin Fei very depressed. Was he really that scary? Heavenly Soul Suppressing God's face turned pale with fright when he heard the words, Invincible Palaces, Tion. Why had this fierce god come to his domain? And why was he swaggering around? He was a 5-star heavenly god powerhouse who had easily killed the weapon refining sect's 5-star heavenly god. Everyone knew about his ferocious reputation. Moreover, since this person had made his debut, no less than 20 or 30 heavenly gods had died at his hands. He was a true god slayer. He could not afford to offend this fierce god for now. If he was just passing by, then so be it. What did it have to do with him? Chapter 1770. Tion didn't reply. Lin Fei couldn't be bothered to say anything else either. As long as Tion didn't provoke him, everything was fine. The battle fortress swaggered forward. The heavenly soul suppressing god was also very concerned, afraid that Tion would wreak havoc in the territory. As long as it didn't cross the line, the heavenly soul suppressing god wouldn't care. After all, Tion's nickname of Godslayer wasn't for nothing. If he really did kill a few heavenly gods in the territory, the heavenly soul suppressing god wouldn't be able to do anything. The heavenly soul suppressing god didn't say anything. He just let the battle fort move forward. Apart from cursing Tion in his mind, he could only watch. It's going to the capital city. The heavenly soul suppressing god watched as the battle fort appeared in the sky above the capital city. Could it be that a family offended Tion? Tion was infamous in the territory. Not only had he offended the 8 great sects, but he had also offended a few of the 7 overlords. There were enemies everywhere in the territory, but he was still alive and well. The most terrifying thing was that Tion's strength was unfathomable. Even ancestors sure of the weapon refining sect had been killed. No one dared to fight Tion unless their cultivation realm was high enough to suppress Tion. In the sky above the capital city, the huge black mass also startled the people on the capital city. A battle fort. It was the most powerful weapon that only overlords could wield. No one understood why. Which overlord had come? I am Overlord Tion. I have something to discuss with the World Commerce Chamber of Commerce. Unrelated people, leave now. Don't get dragged into this mess. The battle fort disappeared, leaving only a black-clothed man in the sky. His calm voice spread throughout the entire capital city. The great demon Tion is here. Let's go. The bustling capital city suddenly became quiet. The people on the street had also disappeared without a trace. The street had become empty. Am I that fierce? Lin Fei asked Nine Dragons King. Nine Dragons King replied, "Not at all." Lin Fei descended from the sky and appeared in front of the World Commerce Chamber of Commerce Branch. The entire World Commerce Chamber was in a state of panic. Why did this fiend come to the World Commerce Chamber? A person's name was like a tree's shadow. Tian's name would have a great impact on anyone. He was someone who specialized in slaughtering gods. No matter what cultivation base you had, you would still die in his hands. What should we do? The president of the World Commerce Chamber of Commerce's branch was a 2-star celestial god. Normally, no one would offend the World Commerce Chamber of Commerce. It was enough to have a 2-star heavenly god overseeing it. Today, however, it was not enough to face a demon god and a god-slayer expert, Tian. Activate the array formation. No matter what Tian's motive was, it couldn't be anything good. There was nothing wrong with opening the array formation first. Boom! When the restrictive spell formation was opened halfway, Lin Fei, who was outside, smashed the restrictive spell formation with a punch and swaggered in. He disappeared again and reappeared at the position of the 2-star heavenly god. I came to visit your World Chamber of Commerce, but you actually opened the restriction formation. What's the meaning of this? This 2-star heavenly god felt uneasy as his sharp gaze swept over him. He didn't even dare to make a move. He laughed dryly and said, "Our World Commerce Association can't wait to welcome the arrival of an overlord. Activate the array formation. It should be our subordinates messing around. I will warn them." Lin Fei didn't think so. If the World Commerce Association welcomed him, they wouldn't have opened the restriction formation to prevent him from entering. There's no need for a warning. I heard that the World Commerce Association has a lot of things. It just so happens that I'm lacking a lot of things. I'm interested in your items. As soon as he finished speaking, chaotic voices came from the World Commerce Association. "Lord, it's bad. People from the dragon race are here to steal our things. Lord, we can't stop them. Thugs, a bunch of thugs." Voices came from below. The 2-star heavenly god felt goosebumps all over his body from Tian's stare, but he couldn't do anything. He had no doubt that if he made a move, he would be destroyed by Tian. "Quiet, all of you, quiet down. This is an overlord taking things. What's there to make a fuss about?" The 2-star heavenly god shouted at the people below. It was already a mess below. The dragons that came in were all fierce and ferocious. As long as it was something good, they would take it away. A portion of them broke into the treasury and looted it wantonly. Anyone who came out to stop them would immediately be beaten to the ground, and their treasures would be taken away. How pitiful would that be? Lin Fei patted the other's shoulder. "Not bad. You're very tactful. Don't worry, I won't kill you. That's right. Where are the godhoods of your branch?" The 2-star heavenly god's expression was very ugly, but he didn't dare to show any anger. He said like a chick pecking rice, "I have them. I'll give them to you right now." At this time, the 2-star heavenly god was thinking about nothing else but how to satisfy Tian. As long as Tian was satisfied, he might be able to survive. Everything else could be discussed later. Lin Fei was very satisfied. People who knew what was good for them could live longer. Lin Fei didn't care about the items of the World Commerce Association. Other than divine stones and godhoods, he could ignore everything else. 53 godhoods. The World Commerce Association is very wealthy. Lin Fei glanced at it. 53 godhoods was a good harvest. Apart from this, the other took out a storage ring. There were low-grade divine stones and some mid-grade divine stones inside. "All the valuables of the branch are here," the 2-star heavenly god said in a low voice. Lin Fei led the dragon tribe and swaggered out of the capital city after a round of looting. Everyone in the World Commerce Association's branch lost their temper. Many of them were bruised and swollen. The only thing was that no one died. At most, they were injured. The heavenly soul-suppressing god was also shocked when he found out that Dition had looted the World Commerce Association's branch. Not many people dared to rob the World Commerce Association's branch. Dition is really ruthless. He robbed the World Commerce Association openly. I wonder who in the World Commerce Association offended Dition. The heavenly soul, suppressing God, shook his head. Fortunately, Dition didn't attack other places after robbing the World Commerce Association. The heavenly soul, suppressing God, heaved a sigh of relief when he left the territory. The robbery of a World Commerce Association's branch had nothing to do with him. He was most afraid of being targeted by Dition. In any case, there was someone else to worry about. At the same time, the heavenly soul, suppressing God, sent a message to the other heavenly gods. They could offend anyone but Dition. If anyone offended Dition, he would be the first to deal with them. Awesome! Long Shantian also looted many treasures. To the dragon race, everything was useful. This was a great feeling. It was the same for the other dragon tribe members. Basically, all of them had gained something. It was just a matter of time, but it made them happy for a while. They could only dream about robbing the 3 top chambers of commerce. They really didn't dare to do it. Chapter 1771. Who was the fiercest recently? It was none other than the 8th overlord, Dition. In the vast territory, as long as Dition passed through the territory, the World Commerce Chamber's branches were wiped out by the ferocious dragon tribe. The dragon tribe would not let go of anything that was presentable. Even the materials and stones on the ground were dug up. The entire World Commerce Chamber's branches were riddled with holes. Anyone who dared to resist along the way would undoubtedly be surrounded and killed. Heavenly God powerhouses? When they heard Dition's name, they were so frightened that they did not dare to make a move. Dition was the one everyone was most afraid of. At the same time, he had the terrifying title of Professional Godslayer. That was the scariest thing. In the meantime, a few heavenly gods from the World Commerce Chamber's branches tried to use violence, but they were killed by Dition. Hence, everyone became obedient. The territory, lords of the territories, all remained silent. What Dition wanted to do was none of their business. After all, it did not touch their bottom line, so there was nothing to worry about. After all, they were robbing the World Commerce Chamber's branches. They were rich and might not even care. Why should they interfere and offend Dition? Dition was a straightforward person in every territory. When Dition left to wreak havoc in other territories, they might even have to applaud and drink to calm their nerves. The title of Professional Godslayer became true. The territory, lords of the territories, were not idle either. They arranged for people to gather information, and finally received news that third young Master Fong of the World Commerce Chamber had once targeted Dition. This time, Dition was here for revenge. In a short period of time, he had wiped out 7 or 8 World Commerce Chamber's branches, causing them to suffer heavy losses. When the news spread, there was an uproar. Dition was here to take his revenge. Vast Heaven, secret realm. It was an ancient secret realm. Later, it was occupied by a group of people. Over time, it became the breeding ground of various races. Later, it gained a resounding name: the World Commerce Chamber's headquarters. There were very few people who knew the location of the headquarters. Even if they found it, they might not be able to enter. It was rumored that outside the vast Heaven's secret realm, there were densely packed formations and restrictions. Most of them were super-killing formations. Even heavenly gods would not be able to return if they entered. Bastard, this bastard. He's taking revenge. Hearing the latest news from his subordinates, a stern-looking, middle-aged man in the hall couldn't help but curse. There were few people standing in the hall, and all of them had their heads lowered. They didn't dare to provoke the president's anger, and they were cursing Dition more than 100 times in their hearts. Fong Wangquan frowned. As the vice president of the World Chamber of Commerce, he also had a headache. He had never imagined that such a small matter would lead to such an outcome. In a short period of time, the World Commerce Chamber had lost 8 branches, and the losses were uncountable. 5 heavenly gods and more than 10 sovereign realm experts were killed. Losing the goods was fine, but world commerce's face had been slapped resoundingly. Right now, the entire weave was probably looking at world commerce as a joke. Feng Wanquan wanted to slap his disappointing son to death. Father, that bastard Ditian is clearly here for revenge. I suggest that we gather all the heavenly god experts in the nearest territory to stop Ditian from acting recklessly. At the very least, we have to let him know how powerful our world commerce is. Feng Qian said viciously. This was Feng Wanquan's eldest son, and he was a fierce and aggressive fellow. I also agree with Big Brother. Ditian is too arrogant. If we don't teach him a lesson, I'm afraid he won't stop, said another young man who looked similar to Feng Gan. He was the second young master of Feng Clan, Feng Gang. President, we need to arrange experts to stop Ditian from sweeping through our branches. The World Commerce Chamber's elders will probably agree. Everyone present was Feng Wanquan's men, and they all agreed that it was best to send experts to deal with Ditian. Feng Wanquan was very disappointed. These people only knew how to deal with Ditian, but they didn't know how much effort they had to pay. Even the weapon refining sect that had monopolized the weapons had been destroyed. Dealing with Ditian was easier said than done. This was also something that gave Feng Wanquan a headache. If Ditian was really that easy to deal with, Feng Wanquan would have arranged for people to take action without his 2 sons' reminder. He wouldn't have waited until now. President, the head president wants to inform you to go to the conference hall for a meeting. Someone suddenly came in from outside and informed Feng Wanquan. Then the person turned around and left. Feng Wanquan's expression instantly turned ugly. This matter had escalated to a major issue, and the head president had also called for a meeting. All right, stay here and wait for me to come back after the meeting. Feng Wanquan felt a headache just thinking about it. This meeting was definitely targeted at him. If he knew that his youngest son was unreliable, he wouldn't have arranged for him to go. The other 2 vice presidents definitely wouldn't miss this opportunity to target him. The World Commerce Chamber's influence suffered a huge blow. The Wind Cloud Commerce Chamber and the Hell Heaven Commerce Chamber also took the opportunity to expand their territories, seizing the original shares of the World Commerce Chamber. When Ditian swept through these territories, the shares of the World Commerce Chamber were quickly devoured by these 2. By the time the other World Commerce Chambers reacted, their shares had already been devoured. All of them regretted coming late. This is awesome. The Battle Fortress left another territory. The Dragon Tribe felt great again. Now, every member of the Dragon Tribe was rich. In vulgar terms, they were all tycoons. Just the materials they had on them could be exchanged for a large number of holy stones. Lin Fei wasn't interested in anything else. He was only interested in godheads and divine stones. This pleasurable method made the members of the Dragon Tribe worship Ditian even more. After all, the Dragon Tribe naturally liked shiny things. Holy stones were undoubtedly a good choice. 9 Dragons King was also very happy. The clansmen he led hadn't obtained anything good from start to end. They were one of the strongest clansmen, but they used scrap metal. They would be laughed at if they went out. Ever since they followed Ditian, the clansmen's pockets bulged. They had changed their treasures too. They were invincible among their peers. Just like this time, they had swept through 8 World Commerce Chamber branches and obtained a large number of treasures. If it were someone else, they definitely wouldn't be so generous. It would be strange if they didn't take everything. But Ditian was different. He didn't care about these things. In his words, he ate meat, and his subordinates also had to drink hot soup. Just because of this simple sentence, the clansmen that came out all obtained a large number of treasures. Whether they used them in the future or kept them for themselves, they didn't have to worry about becoming poor. 9 Dragons King admired Ditian even more. Unbeknownst to him, Lin Fei's harvest wasn't bad either. After sweeping through that branch, he had obtained a total of 300 godheads and extracted 83 heavenly god fragments. Just as Lin Fei planned to continue sweeping, the World Commerce Chamber branches in other territories were all empty. This trip was in vain. Lin Fei was very disappointed. He had lost another place to collect godheads. After going to several territories, all the World Commerce Chamber branches were the same. No one. All kinds of treasures were moved away accordingly. Chapter 1772. Under the vast starry sky, a gigantic black ship flew past them. It was so fast that it could not be detected with divine sense. It passed through one star after another, one world after another, and finally crossed a weave, heading towards the next weave. Taoist Sun Luo, thank you for sending us all the way to the Draconic Weave. The colossal black object was a war weapon, a battle fortress. The person who controlled the battle fortress was the Sun Luo overlord. Ordinary warships could not break through the limits of a large weave. Only a battle fortress could do it. It could travel as far as possible in the shortest amount of time. Any one of the 7 overlords was very popular. Many heavenly gods needed to travel to distant weaves or even dangerous secret realms. Almost all of them would find an overlord to send them there. The price to pay for a single trip using a battle fortress was astonishing. Only a heavenly god could afford such a price. President Feng, you must be joking. We've been friends for many years. It's just going to the Draconic Weave. It's not a big deal. The Sun Luo overlord laughed. President Feng was naturally Feng Wanquan. After the World Commerce Association held a meeting, everyone was furious about Di Tian's revenge. They were determined to deal with Di Tian. Otherwise, the World Commerce Association would lose face. As the culprit, third young Master Feng was also targeted. His father, Feng Wanquan, was inevitably targeted. This time, Feng Wanquan did not know how to explain himself. Fortunately, his faction was quite powerful in the World Commerce Association, and they managed to fend off the other people's attacks. For this, Feng Wanquan had to pay a heavy price. At the end of the meeting, Feng Wanquan was arranged to go to the Draconic Weave to contact the current dragon god. He wanted the Draconic Weave's people to make a move and keep Di Tian in the Draconic Weave. At the very least, they had to severely injure him. It was not a secret that Di Tian had brought someone back to the Draconic Weave. It was very easy to investigate a large organization like the World Commerce Association. Connecting the dots, the upper echelons of the World Commerce Association knew what Di Tian wanted to do. He wanted to wreak havoc in the Draconic Weave. This made the World Commerce Association realize that this was an opportunity. The World Commerce Association had suffered heavy losses this time. Not only had they lost heavenly gods, but they had also lost a large number of treasures, including godheads. They had to take revenge. He needed to think carefully about how he was going to do it. Feng Wanquan was forced to take action. For this reason, he brought out a total of 20 heaven god experts from the World Commerce Hall. Among them, 2 were 5-star heaven gods, 5 were 4-star heaven gods, and the rest were 3-star heaven gods. Such a powerful force had been gathered to deal with Di Tian. Their main force was naturally the dragons of the Draconic God territory. Feng Wanquan and the Sun Luo overlord had been friends for many years. This time he was representing the World Chamber of Commerce, so he had to pay what he had to. This was also a huge contribution. I heard that you fought with Di Tian before, Sun Luo. I wonder what your impression is. The Sun Luo overlord already knew the purpose of this trip. The World Commerce Guild went to Di Tian to vent their anger, but they weren't the main force. Di Tian is evil to the core. The Sun Luo Transcendent still couldn't forget what happened back then. He had truly suffered a huge setback. When Di Tian became the 8th Transcendent, he had contributed a lot of effort, all for the sake of drawing more hatred towards Di Tian. If we can avoid fighting directly, it's best not to do so. Naturally, this is my personal opinion. Feng Wangquan frowned as well. Even an old friend said that. This time, the dragon race was even more likely to make a move. I heard that the Draconic God territory is going to hold a new Dragon God convention to compete for the right of succession. All sorts of experts from the dragon race will be participating, and it seems that the strongest races will also be there to watch. I believe it will be very interesting. The Senluo Transcendent said casually. A strange look flashed across Feng Wanchuan's eyes. The Senluo Transcendent also noticed a change in Feng Wanchuan's expression. He thought, Di Tian, don't think that you're so great just because you wiped out the crafting sect. If you dare to go after the dragon race, you'll definitely be badly injured. With your meager strength, you won't be able to suppress them at all. I'd like to see you make a fool of yourself. The World Chamber of Commerce branch was empty. Lin Fei gave up on sweeping and rushed to the Draconic God territory at full speed. In the following days, the battle fortress advanced at high speed. Lin Fei didn't really care about the energy points it consumed. Wool comes from the sheep's back, so he didn't have to worry about it. It took him a whole month's time. Lin Fei and the others were infinitely close to the Draconic God territory. Almost all the people who appeared here were dragons or dragon men who were a mix of humans and dragons. It's been so many years. I didn't expect to come back one day. 9 dragons' king stood on a platform in the fortress. Looking down at the world of stars below, he was filled with emotion. A familiar feeling rose in his heart. Home. It was still home. No matter how much time had passed, there was still a home in his heart. The Draconic God territory was his home. Lin Fei stood not far from 9 dragons' king. Are you afraid? 9 dragons' king laughed. Not at all. There are no dragons who are afraid of death. Even if it's a dragon's lair or a tiger's den, there's still a master. What a bootlicker! Before reaching the Draconic God territory, Lin Fei could see that the people living outside the territory were all very strong, especially the demonic beasts. Your brothers should know that you're going back to the Draconic God territory. Lin Fei looked into the distance. I wonder what expression they'll have now. From the moment he released the dragons to sweep the World Chamber of Commerce branch, Lin Fei had no intention of hiding his whereabouts. It was necessary to keep a high profile. Lin Fei wanted to put some pressure on the people of the Draconic God territory so that the territory would fall into chaos. Many of them should feel guilty about what happened in the past. Whoosh! Suddenly, the distant sky turned bright red. The vast starry sky was dyed fiery red. Waves of scorching aura hit them in the face, as if they had fallen into an endless sea of fire. This seems to be the aura of the strongest phoenix race. 9 dragons' king looked at the sky shocked. As expected, not long after, a million zhang, tall hoofing, flew across the sky. Everywhere it passed, the starry sky was scorching hot. From where they were, they could see many people standing on top of hoofing. A moment later, the giant hoofing disappeared, leaving behind a sea of fire. What a divine beast! Its power is actually so strong. Lin Fei's eyes narrowed. This was the first time Lin Fei had seen a divine beast. Moreover, it was a very powerful divine beast. Humph! A divine beast is nothing. Sooner or later, I will become a divine beast, and the strongest one at that. Hairball, who was lying on Lin Fei's shoulder, said with dissatisfaction, Eat it, eat it. Lin Fei comforted. Good, good. You are the strongest divine beast. When did the dragons get so close to the phoenixes? Lin Fei asked curiously. The closer they got to the Draconic God territory, the more people were heading there. Chapter 1773. The strongest races outside the Draconic God we've kept appearing. In less than half a day, 5 of the strongest races had appeared. Lin Fei could sense that something big was about to happen in the Draconic God weave. Otherwise, the strongest races would not have come to the dragon tribe. Could it be that they were targeting his group? Lin Fei thought it was impossible. He was very famous and fierce, and he was the newly promoted 8th overlord. To the first and second-rate forces, he was indeed a force to be feared. In front of these strongest races, they would not give him any face. They would disdain him. No matter which race it was, the strongest of them would always be stronger than the crafting school's 5-star Empyrean gods. They could easily send out several 5-star Empyrean gods. That was the advantage of being the strongest race. Curious, Lin Fei sent people out to investigate. He was not in a hurry to enter the draconic god weave. He might as well understand the situation first. He was not a reckless person. The draconic god weave is holding the Dragon God Convention in 3 days. These strongest races are here to watch. Lin Fei was shocked when he heard the news. He turned to look at 9 Dragon King. What is the purpose of this Dragon God Convention? Why are the strongest races appearing one after another? 9 Dragon King had a complicated expression. He sighed. I didn't expect it to be the Dragon God Convention. Lin Fei noticed that 9 Dragon King was in low spirits. At this time, Long Xianming exclaimed, Father, is this the same as the Dragon God Convention back then? 9 Dragon King nodded bitterly. So many years have passed. I didn't expect to see the Dragon God Convention again. Is this to welcome us? Master, I've embarrassed myself. 9 Dragon King quickly recovered. This Dragon God Convention is actually to select the next Dragon God Weave Master. I was one of the candidates back then, but Lin Fei hadn't asked about the 9 Dragons King's past, but from the bits and pieces he had gathered, he knew that the 9 Dragons King seemed to have met his demise at the Dragon God Convention. In the end, he fled to the Dark Night Galaxy and drifted aimlessly. Every Dragon God Convention is the most sensational event in the entire Dragon God domain. As the strongest races, they would also come to spectate. Their geniuses would spar with each other, trying to get closer to each other. This is also the reason why the strongest races are independent of the 8 major sects and 7 hegemonic powers. 9 Dragons King added. Lin Fei understood. If what happened back then didn't happen, then you should be the one who initiated the Dragon God Convention this time, right? Lin Fei suddenly asked. Sai, that's all in the past. The 9 Dragons King did not answer directly, but his meaning was clear. Master, this generation's Dragon God is holding a Dragon God Convention to select the strongest of the younger generation from the 9 Bloodlines Dragon Clan to become the Dragon God of the Dragon Clan. With the gathering of the strongest clans, the Dragon Clan's influence has reached its peak. In my opinion, let's forget about this matter. 9 Dragons King was worried. He understood the meaning of the Dragon God Convention better than anyone else. Having the strongest clan spectate was also a form of communication. When the time came, experts would gather. If Huang Xiaolong recklessly charged in, he would inevitably fall into a dangerous situation and might even die here. 9 Dragons King did not want Huang Xiaolong to stand up for him. Even if Huang Xiaolong wanted to go, he had to wait until the Dragon God Convention was over. When the strongest clans had all left the Dragon Clan, then he could make a move. Now was definitely not the time. Lin Fei shook his head. Don't worry, I understand what you mean. Since we're already here, don't you think it'll be boring if we don't do something? Coincidentally, the Dragon God Convention is about to be held, so we might as well make a big splash and let everyone know that my people are not to be bullied. Don't you think it'll be interesting? 9 Dragons King really did not know what to say. Lin Fei added, You've been away from the Dragon God domain for so long. Do you still have anyone you can trust in the Dragon God domain? We can't just barge in recklessly. We need to find someone to understand the general situation. Once decided, no one could change Lin Fei's mind. 9 Dragons King was even more grateful to Lin Fei. He clearly knew that the Dragon God domain was filled with experts, but Huang Xiaolong still stood up for him. How many people could do that? Master, since that's the case, then this old man will throw caution to the wind. 9 dragons, kings blood boiled. At worst, it would be a fierce battle. In the dragon god domain, if there's anyone I can trust, it should be my 6th brother. I wonder how he is now. Then, let's go find your 6th brother. The dragon god domain was huge. It was even bigger than the previous domains. Its overall strength was also several times that of the other domains. All kinds of demonic beasts and ferocious beasts lived here, and every one of them was powerful. There were even mixed bloods of the dragon race and dragon men, making up the huge dragon god domain. Lin Fei put away the battle fortress and moved alone in the dragon god domain. With the help of space techniques, no one noticed him. Under 9 dragons, king's guidance, Huang Xiaolong headed in the direction of his 6th brother. Flying in the dragon god domain, all kinds of ferocious beasts could be seen everywhere. They wore beast hide armor and carried large axes. It's changed. Everything has changed. At a certain location, 9 dragons king suddenly let out a sigh. At Lin Fei's position, there was a vast plain and a large city with a large population. With a slight sense, he could sense countless powerful auras in the city. Those who could give Lin Fei such powerful auras were at least 4-star heavenly gods. Just now, he could sense at least a few dozen 4-star heavenly gods and above in the city. Among them, there were even a few that were very obscure and terrifying. You recognize this place? Master, you might not know this, but there are a total of 10 dragon kings in the dragon god domain. Each dragon king is given a fief, and each of them occupies a place in the dragon god domain. This is where I, 9 dragons king, was conferred my title. 9 dragons king's expression was ugly. After I left, this place was probably conferred to another dragon king. Lin Fei looked at the city below. This place will come back sooner or later. No one can take it away. Perhaps because he saw the fief, 9 dragons king's expression did not look good, as if he had suffered a huge blow and could not accept it. Lin Fei could understand 9 dragons king's feelings. No one would be able to accept such a scene. Under 9 dragons king's guidance, Lin Fei soon arrived in the sky above a large city. This city was 3 times bigger than 9 dragons king's fief, and it was bustling with people. A giant dragon statue stood in the square in the center of the city. He's still here. My 6th brother is still here. 9 dragons king was also released, standing beside Lin Fei. Looking at the statue in the square, he was unusually excited. He was worried that after he left that year, his 6th brother, who had been the closest to him, would be affected. Looking at it now, at least he was fine. Chapter 1774. Just like that, Lin Fei and 9 dragons king walked through the city. This is my 6th brother's fief. Back then, he took good care of me. Among my 10 brothers, I have the best relationship with him. Perhaps because he had not been back for many years, 9 dragons king had a lot to say. Lin Fei understood 9 dragons king's feelings very well. Now that I see that the fief is still here, I feel at ease. At least, my 6th brother is not being persecuted. Otherwise, I will always feel guilty. Unknowingly, the 2 arrived at a wide street. There were many more beasts and dragons here, compared to the few streets ahead. Boom! 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 Just as the 2 arrived on the street, a fierce energy fluctuation came from afar. Everyone, hurry up and look. Young Master Longsheng is making a move again. It can't be, right? Young Master Longsheng just made a move not long ago. Who is it this time? What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and look. Otherwise, you will miss a good show again. Who else can it be? The originally lively street was accompanied by chaotic noises as a large wave of people ran forward. The street was also empty. Lin Fei casually stopped a dragonoid. Seeing that he was stopped, the dragonoid became angry. Without waiting for him to speak, the dragonoid handed over a high-grade saint stone. Friend, May I ask what happened in front? Why did everyone go to watch the show? Perhaps because of the high-grade saint stone. The dragonoid smiled and said, Sir, you look unfamiliar. It should be your first time here. I heard that the Dragon God Convention is about to be held, so I came to join in the fun. Lin Fei said, All the more reason for you to go and take a look. The dragonoid laughed and said, It should be young Master Longsheng making a move in front. If I'm not wrong, he should be targeting the shops of the Regent Dragon Clan. This kind of thing is not the first time. Hearing that the Regent Dragon Clan was from the Regent Dragon Clan, Lin Fei took out another high-grade saint stone, and the other party accepted it without hesitation. His luck today was pretty good. He could pick up a high-grade saint stone for free. That's not right. You said that the Regent Dragon Clan should be the controller here. Why would someone cause trouble for them? Is there a mistake? Lin Fei asked curiously. The Dragon Man shook his head. You're not mistaken. What you're talking about is the past. Right now, the Regal Dragon Clan is merely struggling at death's door. When the Dragon God Convention ends, his right to be crowned Regal Dragon Clan will be revoked, and the collateral Dragon Clan that young Master Longsheng belongs to will be replaced. No way, Lin Fei was shocked. Lin Fei, there is some inside. As he spoke, he handed over another high-grade saint stone. I've asked the right person. Back then, something big happened in the Dragon God territory, and the Regent Dragon Clan here was implicated. Later on, during a mission, the 6th Dragon King of the Regent Dragon Clan was injured, and it was said that he was injured by a mysterious person. Since then, the 6th Dragon King's strength has not increased, and he has remained at the 2-star Heavenly God realm. As for young Master Longsheng's bloodline, because of a genius patriarch, he is already a 5-star Heavenly God realm at a young age. The clan's power expanded very quickly, and the 6th Dragon King's bloodline was constantly suppressed. Listening to the dragonoid's words, Lin Fei only knew that there was such an unforeseen event. Beside him, the 9 Dragon King also suppressed his anger and did not flare up. Previously, he was relieved for his 6th brother, but now he knew that it was not as simple as he thought. On the contrary, his 6th brother's life was not very good, and it would not be long before the land of the Regent Dragon Clan was taken away. Lin Fei gave him a few more high-grade saint stones and sent him away. My poor 6th brother, this must have been done by him. The 9 Dragon King said in a low voice, My 6th brother's talent is not bad. At the very least, it would not be difficult for him to cultivate to the 4-star Heavenly God realm. Now he is stuck at the 2-star Heavenly God realm. Apart from him, who else could do such a thing? A Regent Dragon King was only a 2-star Heavenly God realm. Even if he erupted, he would only be a 3-star Heavenly God realm. The difference between him and a 5-star Heavenly God realm was too great. It was normal for others to have their eyes on him, suppressing him everywhere and challenging the 6th Dragon King's bottom line. This was forcing him into a corner. Master, you must have a way. I beg you, help my 6th brother. The 9 Dragon King said in a panic. Lin Fei could guess that the person who sat on the Dragon God's throne was secretly suppressing him. Without the Dragon God's approval, how could a branch bloodline dare to act so recklessly? No one could say anything in the face of this kind of invisible suppression. The dragon race also valued the strong as the king. You, the 6th Dragon King, only have the strength of a 2-star Heavenly God. If word got out, it would be shameful. Now that a 5-star Heavenly God family head had appeared with proper training, he would be worthy of the title of Dragon King. I will help you with this matter. When Lin Fei first arrived, he was worried that the Draconic God domain would be united. Now, it seemed that they were not as united as he had imagined. This was his chance. Let's go see your 6th brother. In the center of the city, there was a splendid immortal palace. Clouds and mist shrouded the sky, and immortal beasts danced in the air. There was a peaceful atmosphere everywhere. In the depths of the immortal palace, A group of youths ran toward the main hall. That bastard Longsheng is getting more and more out of hand. I can't take it anymore. I want to go out and teach that guy a lesson. Our bloodline is not afraid of anything. Why would we be afraid of a bastard of a branch bloodline? Today, we must let that bastard know the power of the 6th Duke Palace. These youths were all burly and had murderous looks on their faces. At this moment, all of them had dark expressions and were furious. Just a moment ago, they had received news that a shop belonging to the 6th Duke Palace had been destroyed by that damned Longsheng. He had even injured many of their clansmen. They were all unusually impulsive. In the main hall, several middle-aged men were also frowning. They were also very angry. Your Highness, we have to think of a way out of this. If this continues, our 6th Duke Palace will no longer have any status. If things go wrong, we might even be exterminated in the future. Your Highness, why don't we leave the draconic god domain? We don't want the imperial bloodline anymore. The dragon god is forcing us into a corner. These middle-aged men were the higher-ups of the 6th Duke Palace. This was not the first time they had said this. The situation was getting worse and worse. That bastard Longsheng had pushed them out to test their bloodline. The more it was like this, the angrier they became. In the past few years, the 6th Duke Palace had been suppressed everywhere. Some talented clansmen had unknowingly fallen outside. As a result, there was a shortage of successors. The experts of this bloodline were also very limited, so the clansmen did not dare to leave the city. Cough, cough, cough. Chapter 1775. They looked at the Dragon King on the main seat. The people below felt heartache. If not for what had happened back then, their bloodline would not have fallen to such a state. They were even bullied by the collateral relatives. Everyone was filled with anger, but there was nothing they could do now. They could only grit their teeth and hold on. The 6th Marquis residence. The slightest movement could spell disaster. Because of this, the Dragon King's bloodline had a strong opinion of the Dragon God. As long as one wasn't a fool, they would know that it was the Dragon God's approval. Otherwise, how could a collateral relative dare to oppose the royal bloodline? Apart from that, the main point was that they lacked experts. Otherwise, they wouldn't have dared to act so arrogantly above their heads. Everyone, stop arguing. A few simple words made the 6th Dragon King feel powerless. He was also very helpless about the current situation. So many years had passed, and the injuries from back then had not healed. He couldn't raise his cultivation level either. He had suffered a heavy blow and was very disheartened. I will take care of this. Pass down the order. Without my permission, no one is allowed to leave the residence. The 6th Dragon King coughed lightly again. Everyone was very unwilling, but they knew that the Dragon King was doing it for their own good. If everyone left, someone might be schemed against. They didn't dare to act recklessly in the residence. Someone immediately set off to pass the message. In a back garden of the residence, the 9th Dragon King was supported by a beautiful woman. He sat under a pavilion, his face full of worry. Husband, you don't have to worry too much. Our bloodline is the royal bloodline. The dragon god won't dare to act recklessly. The beautiful woman comforted. The 6th Dragon King suddenly sneered. So what if we are the royal bloodline? After so many years of the 10 bloodlines, 9th brother has gone to the Dark Night Galaxy, and the others have submitted to the dragon god. I'm the only one who has been indifferent. Otherwise, he wouldn't have targeted our bloodline. I'm afraid that after the Dragon God Convention, our bloodline will completely lose its status. Will it be that serious? That Dragon God, even if he sits on the throne, is still unjustifiable. Why did he arrange for 10th brother to hunt down 9th brother? In the end, it's because he hasn't obtained the Dragon God scepter. As long as 9th brother doesn't die, as long as he doesn't see the Dragon God scepter, his position will not be stable. The 6th Dragon King sneered. Back then, if it weren't for his cooperation, I wouldn't have gotten to this position so easily. I've always had a good relationship with ninth brother, so naturally I became a thorn in his side. In order to solidify his position, he would do anything. How can that be good? The beautiful woman rarely interfered in this kind of matter, but at this moment she was also worried. The sixth Dragon King smiled bitterly. The Dragon God Convention is being held, and even the Dragon Kings are going to attend it personally. I'll be taking a portion of them with me when the time comes, and I've already made arrangements for the rest. When I leave, you'll leave the draconic god weave with them and never return. At the very least, we can protect our bloodline this way. This was the only thing the sixth Dragon King could do. Who is it? Suddenly, the sixth Dragon King stood up. His seemingly powerless body erupted with a powerful killing intent that shot forward. Sixth brother, it's me. In the distance, a ripple came from the void. Two people walked out of the void. One of them took off his cloak, revealing his true appearance. Just like that, he stared at the sixth Dragon King. The sixth Dragon King revealed a look of disbelief. Your ninth brother. Why are you back? He had never imagined that his younger brother would return one day, much less at this time. Just now, he had thought that the Dragon God had arranged for someone to deal with him. That kind of person was capable of anything. This used to be my home. Why can't I come back? If I didn't come back, how would I know that sixth brother would be implicated because of me? As your younger brother, I've let you down. The ninth Dragon King said guiltily. Especially after seeing his sixth brother's appearance, his heart ached. In the draconic god weave, as long as one was a member of the royal bloodline and had a pure bloodline, their cultivation speed was faster than that of the branch families. The probability of producing geniuses was also higher. This was something that the branch families could not compare to. The sixth Dragon King's realm was stagnant, and the clan's geniuses were falling one after another. The ninth Dragon King felt even more sorry for his sixth brother. Hurry up and leave before they find you. Go as far as you can. Don't come back for the rest of your life. You can't win against the Dragon God. The sixth Dragon King had a good relationship with the ninth Dragon King in the past. Seeing his long-lost younger brother return, he was naturally happy. In the next moment, he asked the ninth Dragon King to leave. The ninth Dragon King's heart warmed. His sixth brother was still the same sixth brother. He had not changed at all. He was still so worried about him. Sixth brother, since I'm already here, I don't plan to leave. That year, he took everything from me and even tried to kill me. This time, I'm going to take back what he took from me and avenge you, sixth brother. The nine Dragons King's eyes were filled with determination. For his sixth brother, for himself, he had to throw caution to the wind. The sixth Dragon King knew his ninth brother's character very well. As long as he was determined, no one could change his mind. However, the sixth Dragon King did not want anything to happen to his ninth brother. He said coldly, "You're really stupid. Do you know what realm the Dragon God is at now? He's already an 8-star celestial god. It won't be long before he enters the 9 stars celestial god realm. How are you going to fight him?" It was not that the sixth Dragon King wanted to attack his ninth brother, but there was no need to take the risk. An 8-star celestial god, isn't that amazing? Lin Fei suddenly interjected. The sixth Dragon King's realm was not high, but his dragon might was still there. With a glance, he could tell that the sixth Dragon King was a 2-star celestial god. "Ninth brother, is this your man?" Such big words. The 9 Dragon King's voice was low. "Sixth brother, you're wrong. He's not my man. He's my master. Without him, you wouldn't be able to see me now." The sixth Dragon King's eyes widened. "Ninth brother, you're muddle-headed. We're royalty. Why should we follow someone else?" The sixth Dragon King's gaze turned to the 9th Dragon King. "I don't care how you do it. I want you to release your oath and return my 9th brother his freedom. I will compensate you with treasures." Lin Fei was not angry. Instead, he was happy for the ninth Dragon King. Having such an elder brother was actually quite a good thing. Sixth brother, this has nothing to do with Master. I'm doing this voluntarily. The ninth Dragon King was worried that something might happen. He stood between the two. Do you think someone can force me to do something I don't want to do? The beautiful woman also stepped forward. Husband, don't be angry. Let's hear what he has to say first. The sixth Dragon King suppressed his anger, seemingly accepting the ninth Dragon King's words. The dragon race was a proud race. Someone who could make his little brother willingly become a follower could not have used violence. Sixth brother, you probably don't know who my master is, right? You should have heard of him. He's the newly risen eighth overlord, Dition. Chapter 1776. Dition? The sixth Dragon King had to know this name. He was a monstrous genius who had risen in such a short time. Those who didn't know this name would be laughed at by others. Were the 10 princes famous? However, they had been easily suppressed by Dition. Later, they became the 10 Empyrean gods and their strength soared. However, they were suppressed by Dition again and even killed a few Empyrean gods, making them famous. After that, Dition's rise was unstoppable. He was unbelievably strong. Several of the 8 great sects suffered losses, and the 7 overlords also suffered. Dition turned from a savage to a god-slaying expert, feared by everyone. The sixth Dragon King had naturally heard of such a savage Empyrean god. However, after seeing it with his own eyes, he still could not believe it. Dition was too young. When he was his age, he was not even half as strong as Dition. You are that Dition? A god-slaying expert? The beautiful woman was shocked. Lin Fei smiled. If there is no one else with the same name as me, then I am the Dition you speak of. Unbelievable, truly unbelievable, the beautiful woman exclaimed. After all, Dition was famous now. Taoist Dition, I'm sorry. I did not mean to target you just now. The sixth Dragon King rarely admitted his mistake. He did not dare to underestimate Dition just because he was the 8th overlord. Lin Fei waved his hand. It's fine. It's normal for you to be worried about your brother. It had to be said. When one had status, it was much easier to speak. At least the 6th Dragon King did not have much of an opinion now, but he was still very worried about his 9th brother's safety. Dition was strong, and his combat strength was not weak. However, that was in other places. In the dragon god domain, he did not seem to be of much use. Unless Dition's backer intervened, there might still be a fight. In order not to be discovered, the 6th Dragon King brought the two into a secret room to prevent others from seeing them and spreading the news. I still don't recommend doing this. The 6th Dragon King coughed dryly. You do not know how powerful the dragon god is. Almost all the strongest races are here in the Dragon God Convention. Among them, the giant race and the phoenix race are closely related to the dragon god. If we act now, they might be tempted. As for the 9 Dragons King, it was hard to say. The only thing he trusted was Dition. If Dition said it would definitely succeed, then it would definitely succeed. It would not fail. 6th Dragon King, I can see that the injury in your body is nothing more than a force that can't be removed. I wonder if you can let me remove it for you? Then you should understand. Lin Fei did not want to explain too much. You can see the power in my body. The 6th Dragon King was shocked. It's just a mere force. Lin Fei scanned them with the system and found the root cause. As long as he got rid of that power, he could naturally heal the 6 Dragon Kings. The power in the 6th Dragon King's body was left behind by a mysterious person in the past. Until now, there was still a part of it that could not be removed. It was constantly devouring the power in his body, causing his strength to be unable to increase. He was barely a 2-star heavenly god. Otherwise, he would be a 4 or 5-star heavenly god at the very least. Can I really? For the sake of this power, The sixth Dragon King had secretly sought out many experts, but he had never been able to remove it. As time passed, it became a sore point for him. How would you know if you don't try? In any case, there's no loss for you. The 9 Dragon Kings said. Sixth brother, Master, is still very powerful. He wouldn't lie to you. Then I'll listen to you. The 6th Dragon King also wanted to see for himself how tyrannical Dtion's abilities were. If Dtion's abilities were not up to par, the 6th Dragon King would never have allowed him to make a move during the Dragon God Convention. After all, the Dragon God Dominion was home to the strongest races. A 4-star heavenly god from the dragon race could already rival a 5-star heavenly god. One could well imagine the battle prowess of the strongest races. Lin Fei had the 6th Dragon King sit down, not letting the beautiful woman leave. Go. Lin Fei sent a time technique into the 6th Dragon King's body, enveloping the power and sealing it. Break. A finger blasted at the power. Lin Fei was very direct and violent. The 6th Dragon King was more or less disappointed. He had tried this method several times, but not once had he succeeded. The power was very tenacious, and it was not something that could be destroyed by force. Even if there was a part left, it would recover after a long time. This was also the main reason why the 6th Dragon King was helpless. After the power of the finger blasted into his body, the 6th Dragon King was disappointed. He used his divine sense to observe, only to see that the seemingly powerless power suddenly turned into a ferocious tiger that pounced on the power. Boom! Boom! The suppressed power tried to escape in all directions, but it could not escape. In an instant, it was shattered by the power, leaving nothing behind. Ah, it's done! The 6th Dragon King's eyes widened in disbelief. He kept checking with his divine sense, and the terrifying power that had been bothering him for a long time was shattered mercilessly. I said it was a small matter. Don't you want to see it? Lin Fei smiled. The power was very tenacious, which was why Lin Fei had used a technique to seal it and then used force to shatter it, not giving it a chance to leave. It was a small matter to Lin Fei, but in the eyes of the 6th Dragon King, it was definitely not a small matter. It was a huge matter. I'm convinced. I'm completely convinced. The 6th Dragon King was finally convinced. Dtion could easily unleash his power, and it was extremely ferocious. The rumors in the outside world were true. Dtion was indeed very talented. There might not be many people in the Dragon Clan who could unleash such explosive power. After getting rid of this power, the 6th Dragon King was much more convinced. This was especially so after Lin Fei revealed that as long as he was no match for the other party, someone would come to help him. The 6th Dragon King was completely relieved because of this. Then, what is Taoist Dtion planning to do? The 6th Dragon King seemed to see hope. Lin Fei said with a smile, "Of course we're going to do it openly. The Dragon God is holding a Dragon God Convention to choose its next successor, so there's no better time than now. It's also a good time to teach those strongest species that are closely related a lesson. Sneak in." Lin Fei was really not interested. Destroying the place was destroying the place. There was no need to be sneaky. Wouldn't that be a joke? The 6th Dragon King was shocked. Enter openly. That was too domineering. You don't need to think about it. There's no need to think about it. Let's go just like that, Lin Fei said. The 6th Dragon King's blood also surged when he heard that. Taoist Dtion, if you're going to attack us directly, there's something that we need you to do. That way, our momentum will be even greater. What is it? The 6th Dragon King said. Back then, 9th brother was the successor of the Dragon God. In the Dragon God domain, a large number of the higher-ups supported 9th brother. They were very powerful, but they were all imprisoned by the Dragon God in a mystic realm. If we could release them with... Chapter 1777. P.S. Only one update today. In the central city of the dragon god, Weave stood an infinitely large city. It also had another name, Dragon City. When mentioning Dragon City, everyone couldn't help but mention the dragon god. This generation's dragon god had left a deep impression in everyone's hearts. As the strongest race, the dragon race's influence continued to expand. Correspondingly, the strongest races were also closely united. In the Weave, no one dared to belittle the title of the strongest race. The Dragon God Convention had yet to begin. Several of the strongest races had come to Dragon City, one after another. The dragon god, who rarely appeared, also came out to personally welcome the strongest races. He held banquets for several nights in a row to entertain these distinguished guests. The Dragon City Prefecture was surprised that the vice president of the World Chamber of Commerce had come and given them such a generous gift. When did one of the top 3 chambers of commerce in the Weave become so generous? The dragon god rarely met Feng Wanquan when he came to the dragon god, Weave, as the vice president. He had to give face to the top 3 chambers of commerce. No one was willing to offend them. The dragon god was the same. The dragon race needed all kinds of resources to cultivate, so they had to deal with the top chambers of commerce. Feng Wanquan had come all the way to the dragon god, Weave, on behalf of the World Chamber of Commerce. But in private, he had revealed to the dragon god about Di Tian and the information the chamber had gathered. Lord Dragon God, I have a piece of information that one of my subordinates heard by chance. It might be useful to you. It's getting late, and I need to go back and rest. Before he left, Feng Wanquan left behind a message and a jade slip to record some information. The dragon god arranged for Feng Wanquan to be sent away, and the jade slip landed in his hands. Father, Feng Wanquan, is very shrewd. He left behind this jade slip before he left. He might be plotting something against the dragon race. Should we arrange for someone to keep an eye on him? The Dragon God Convention is just around the corner, and we can't let anything happen to him. A young man stood up. He was the eldest of the dragon god's 5 sons, Long Equin. Today, the dragon god had specially brought his eldest son to meet Feng Wanquan of the World Chamber of Commerce. There's no need. Our dragon tribe is one of the strongest tribes. If we send people to keep an eye on it, wouldn't we be laughed at by others? Those who don't know might even think that we are afraid of the World Commerce Association. The dragon god was not tall and sturdy. On the contrary, he was very thin and his whole person looked gloomy, making it difficult to see through him. The dragon god used his divine sense to check the jade slip and suddenly laughed. No wonder the vice president of the World Chamber of Commerce came here. Little Kuin, take a look. Long Ikuin was very surprised. He took the jade slip and examined it. Di Tian brought 9th uncle back? Although Long Ikuin was young, he knew some inside information. When he saw the information, a cold light flashed in his eyes. He wants to use us as knives. The dragon god did not seem to care. He said indifferently, I heard that the World Chamber of Commerce has been having a hard time recently. First, they lost the opportunity to cooperate with Di Tian, and then their branch was wiped out by Di Tian. Their vitality was greatly damaged, and they gained a strong enemy for no reason. The World Chamber of Commerce, sure, has a way to kill with a borrowed knife. Long Ikuin was young and impetuous. He snorted coldly, Father, Di Tian is not that great. It is just a weapon refining sect. If I were to act, I would also be able to wipe out the entire weapon refining sect. If he dares to cause trouble in our dragon god domain, then he is courting death. I will make him die without a burial place. The dragon god was very satisfied with his eldest son. At such a young age, with a large amount of resources, his strength had reached the 4-star celestial god realm. When he used the imperial bloodline, his combat strength would increase several times, enough to sweep away the younger generation. Father likes this attitude of yours that looks down on the world. The dragon god laughed. Your 9th uncle must have reached some kind of cooperation with Di Tian, which is why he dared to return to dragon god domain. If there are no accidents, your ninth uncle must be with your sixth uncle. Based on your sixth uncle's personality, you should personally make a trip to the banished land. Don't worry, father. I will take care of this matter properly. Long Ikuin turned around and left. The dragon god sat in his seat, and the jade slip shattered with a crash. A trace of disdain appeared in his eyes. Ninth brother, oh ninth brother, back then, you suffered a crushing defeat and had no choice but to go to the Dark Night Galaxy. I didn't expect you to have the guts to return. But do you really think that you can contend against me with just Ditian? I am no longer the same person I was back then. You came back just in time. This time, you will not be able to escape even if you grow wings. I will definitely obtain the Dragon God scepter. Boom! A powerful aura erupted from the Dragon God's body. The banished land. It was a place in Dragon God domain that caused people to tremble with fear. As long as one was a resident of Dragon God domain, they feared nothing but this banished land. These 4 simple words were enough to make one's scalp go numb. One would never want to come into contact with these 4 words for the rest of their lives. To put it bluntly, the banished land was a place of exile. It was specially created by the Dragon Clan, and it was filled with chaos and violence. Those who were exiled could never leave, unless the Dragon God granted them amnesty. Ever since the last banishment, very few people were exiled from the banished land, and those who were exiled were super experts. Being exiled to the banished land was worse than being killed. There was not a shred of heaven and earth spiritual energy in the banished land. Anyone who stayed there would experience a steady decline in their strength as time passed, and they would eventually die of old age in the banished land. Even a wealthy person would die of old age in the banished land. As for breaking through to the next realm, there was no need to even mention it. We're almost there. They definitely won't expect us to go to the banished land at this time. This time, Lin Fei was the main person in charge of the trip to the banished land, while the 9th and 6th Dragon Kings led the way. Both of them were very excited. Fellow Taoist Ditian, the banished land is very terrifying. None of those exiled have ever returned. Are you confident? The 6th Dragon King asked worriedly. Although I haven't seen the banished land yet, in my opinion, as long as it exists, it has its flaws. Lin Fei was not in a hurry. If there are people guarding it, that's even better. We can just let them out. If there are restrictions, we can break them layer by layer. Lin Fei's thinking was very simple. The banished land was full of experts. As long as they didn't die, they could use the Godstones to recover. Returning to their previous realm was not a difficult matter. Other than that, another thing that made Lin Fei happy was that the experts exiled from the banished land had died generation after generation in the banished land, leaving behind a large number of godheads. No one knew exactly how many there were. This was also Lin Fei's biggest goal. Who asked him to lack godheads? Chapter 1779. Heavenly God Raging Fire was the person in charge of the banished land. His daily task was to guard the 8 Dragon God Mountains outside the banished land. Heavenly God Raging Fire's favorite thing to do every day was to patrol the 8 Dragon God Mountains and see the banished old monsters through them. Congratulations, Master. Once the Dragon God Convention is over, you will be transferred back to Dragon City to enjoy your life. One of his subordinates said. Heavenly God Raging Fire smiled. Don't worry. I will definitely take you back when I get back. I won't leave you here alone. Thank you, Master. Heavenly God Raging Fire led his men to patrol the Dragon God Mountains and return to a palace not far away. This palace had a domineering name, the Banished Palace. As long as the 8 Dragon God Mountains and the Banished Palace existed, they could guard the banished land. No one could come out. First Highness, there is news. Heavenly God Raging Fire received the news from the First Highness. He was stunned. Someone is coming to the banished land to rescue those old guys? After checking again, Heavenly God Raging Fire confirmed it. Interesting, really interesting. Someone wants to attack the old monsters of the banished land. I wonder who is it? Boom! Boom! All of a sudden, the entire banished heavenly palace was shaken. Heavenly God, raging, fires, face darkened. Someone was really coming to attack the banished land? Something that hadn't happened in more than a dozen chaotic years had happened to him today. Open the array. Heavenly God, raging fire, came to the banished palace. He wanted to see who was so bold to cause trouble here. He would kill him with his own hands. As soon as he stepped outside, a net of fire appeared in front of him. Black beams of light shot toward him. The dragons stationed here were caught off guard and suffered heavy casualties. None of them could withstand the attack. Boom! 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 Heavenly God raging fire was also blasted away and crashed into the Dragon God Mountain in the distance. The huge Dragon God Mountain didn't move at all. Damn it, it's a battle fortress. Which overlord is here? This is the Dragon God territory. Outside the 8 Dragon God Mountains, a black giant was shooting out destructive beams of light. The people of the banished palace couldn't even look up, and part of the array formation was also broken. Master, 5 of the array formation cores are broken. I can't open it for now. The opponent's attack is too fierce. I can't block it. On the battle fortress, Lin Fei stood with his hands behind his back, his expression relaxed. The battle fortress is truly worthy of its reputation. It's worthy of being called a top-grade war weapon. It's able to suppress them just like that. This was the first time 6th Dragon King had seen the terror of a battle fort. He was shocked. How much wealth did one have to support such an attack? His 9th brother had found a good follower. 6th brother, are you interested? Let's go kill Heavenly God, Lai Hui together. The 9 Dragons King invited his 6th brother excitedly. The 6th Dragon King's previous exhaustion was swept away. Heavenly God Lai Hua is His Highness's man. I've long been unhappy with him. Let's CK him up. The 2 flew out of the battle bastion. Both of you are Dragon Kings. Do you have to do this? For a moment, Lin Fei felt that these 2 were not Dragon Kings, but hot-blooded youths. Could it be that he's suffocated? 6th Dragon King, how dare you? Heavenly God Lai Hua was a 4-star heavenly god with a combat power of a 5-star heavenly god. In the face of the dense beam attack, he had to avoid it. As soon as he saw the newcomer, Heavenly God Lai Hua was furious. An outdated Dragon King dared to attack the banished Heavenly Palace. Heavenly God Lai Hua was extremely disdainful. This was seeking his own death. Who didn't know that the Dragon God wanted to deal with the 6th Dragon King? Dragon Claw Hand. The 6th Dragon King did not speak. He waved his hand and the Dragon Divine power flew out. A fierce and domineering claw clawed at Heavenly God Lai Hua. The remaining array restrictions were shattered layer by layer. Heavenly God Lai Hua shouted angrily, "You, 6th Dragon King, with your 2-star Heavenly God combat power, you dare to fight with me? Who do you think you are? What about me?" An endless, majestic voice blasted at Heavenly God Lai Hua. Heavenly God Lai Hua subconsciously looked over, and his face changed dramatically. "You, why is the 9th Dragon King here? You want to release those old monsters." In the past, the 9th Dragon King was the most famous person in the Dragon God territory. No one did not know the 9th Dragon King's divine courage. At that time, Heavenly God Lai Hua was only a ruler. He also admired the 9th Dragon King very much. There was a moment of unnatural change just now. Heavenly God Lai Hua, although you and I are not of the same bloodline, as long as you open the array restrictions, I will not kill you. I will give you a chance to atone for your sins. 9 Dragon King said. Ha ha ha, 9 Dragon King, you talk big. If it was you in the past, I might listen to you. Now it is the world of the Dragon God. You are a sinner, and you dare to say that. Then let me see your current strength. Heavenly God Lai Hua saw that one of them was a 1-star heavenly god and the other was a 2-star heavenly god. He did not know which overlord he should pull in. As long as he captured these 2 traitors, it would be a great contribution. The dragon god would reward him. Boom! Heavenly God Lai Hua's body swayed, and he transformed into a black dragon that was 100,000 feet long. He charged out aggressively and smashed the attacks of the 6 dragon kings with his head. His steel whip-like tail swept across the sky toward the 2 of them. The attack was no less than the weight of Mount Tai. Very fierce. Heavenly God Lai Hua's battle prowess skyrocketed. He did not take the 2 seriously at all. The 6th Dragon King also wanted to reveal his true form, but he was blocked by 9 Dragon King. This kind of person, there is no need for 6th brother to do it. Okay, 9 Dragon King was not in a hurry. Suddenly, he took out a golden scepter from his storage ring. The scepter was made in the shape of a golden dragon, and this dragon was the 1st generation dragon god, the holy golden dragon. Then, a terrifying dragon might swept out, making it hard for everyone to breathe. Heavenly God Lai Hua felt the fear of death in the depths of his soul. He stared at the golden scepter and exclaimed, Dragon God Scepter. This was the number 1 divine artifact in the Dragon God domain. It was also the Dragon God Scepter that only the Dragon God was qualified to wield. Heavenly God Lai Hua felt fear, and a trace of greed flashed in his eyes. If I can snatch it, can I also become a dragon god in the future? Die. To the shock of the 6th Dragon King, 9 Dragon King raised the golden scepter and shouted softly. The scepter shot out a golden light at an extreme speed, piercing through Heavenly God Lai Hua's strong body, leaving a huge bloody hole in his opponent's body. Really? So strong. His huge body collapsed with a loud bang. 9 Dragon King's body also swayed slightly. My strength is still too weak. The dragon clan members of the exiled Heavenly Palace were all horrified. They could not believe that Heavenly God Lai Hua was killed in a second. The 6th Dragon King is back. Everyone run. Chapter 1780. P.S. There was a mistake at the end. It was 9 Dragon King is back. He had gotten used to it. He collapsed. After losing the Inferno, Heavenly God, the remaining people were in a panic. Everyone knew that the 9 Dragon King was back, holding the Dragon God scepter that only the Dragon God was qualified to possess. They had witnessed the terrifying power of the dragon race's number 1 divine weapon. The Inferno Heavenly God, a 4-star heavenly god in his true form, couldn't withstand a single blow from the Dragon God scepter and was killed on the spot. What else could the remaining people do? The people present weren't stupid. This meant that the 9 Dragon King was back for revenge. In less than a moment, the people from the exiled Heavenly Palace ran away. No one wanted to die in the hands of the 9 Dragon King. If they didn't leave now, when would they? They wouldn't care about what would happen next. Their priority was to save their lives. What a tyrannical divine weapon! Lin Fei was also surprised. He had occasionally heard about the Dragon God Scepter. It was the number 1 divine weapon of the dragon race, and also the number 1 killing weapon. Now it seemed that this was true. Its power was terrifying. Master, his divine weapon is not bad in terms of grade. It can reach the level of a mid-grade God King weapon. Only the strongest race can withstand the backlash. This 9 Dragon King is not simple. If we don't kill these people and let them spread the news, in less than a day, the entire Dragon God territory will know about this. Little Demoness ran out and said, Lin Fei was a little surprised. The strongest race of the dragon race was really not simple. A mid-grade God King weapon, they're really rich. Their foundation is extraordinary, if I'm not wrong. The other strongest races might have 1 or 2 God King weapons in their hands. Then the 8 major sects will also have the same. I have to go and collect more divine sparks. No matter what, I have to get a high-grade Heavenly God divine weapon. Lin Fei thought to himself, then asked little Demoness, "If I get a top-grade Heavenly God Divine weapon, we'll be able to fight against an ordinary mid-grade God King weapon." After Lin Fei saw the Dragon God Scepter, he was even more afraid of the strongest races. To put it bluntly, the two of them aren't too far apart. The quality of his God King artifact is only mediocre. To put it bluntly, it's just something that he forged casually. There's no difference between a high-tier celestial god artifact and a middle-tier God King artifact. Lin Fei heaved a sigh of relief. "I want to prepare a divine artifact for God King Ron. Otherwise, I will really suffer a great loss. Your divine item is not bad. My eyes have been opened." Lin Fei put away the battle fort and smiled at 9 Dragon King. As expected of the number 1 divine item of the dragons, 9 Dragon King was very proud. "Many thanks for Master's praise. Although this thing is good, it will become an ordinary item in Master's hands sooner or later. In the future, I hope Master can also forge a suitable weapon for me." 9 Dragon King was proud, but he did not think that his Dragon God Scepter was very awesome. These words left the 6 Dragon Kings at a loss. The Dragon God Scepter was the number 1 divine artifact. Wasn't it good? Could it be that there was an even better divine artifact? No problem. Lin Fei readily agreed. The Raging Fire God is dead, and the remaining people are no longer a concern. It's time to release them. It won't be long before the nearby experts come to reinforce us. Speaking of which, he had grasped the opportunity well this time. With the Raging Fire God guarding this place, coupled with the formation, even a 5 or 6-star Heavenly God might not be able to open it. Everyone knew the prestige of the dragon race, and no one was willing to offend the dragon race. Naturally, no one would come to the Banished Land. In addition, the Banished Land had been safe and sound all this time. The Banished Land's spirit array had not been fully activated. It was only the simple activation of the spirit array's spirit array that allowed Lin Fei to easily kill his way in. These 8 Dragon God Mountains are the core of the Banished Land's formation. As long as the 8 Dragon God Mountains are broken, the Banished Land will lose its seal, and the people inside can come out. The other way is to go in and bring them out. 9 Dragons Kings said. The first method won't be easy. The 8 Dragon God Mountains were obtained by the first-generation Dragon God in a dangerous location. As for what materials they were made of, no one knows. Later on, they were used to create the 8 Dragon God Mountains and create a land of exile for experts. Lin Fei did not take these 8 Dragon God Mountains seriously at first. Now that he heard it, it was not right. It seemed to have a lot of background. Could it be some kind of treasure? With the Dragon God Scepter in your hand, you can't blast open the Dragon God Mountains. Lin Fei asked. It's difficult. 9 Dragon King shook his head. Rise for me. Lin Fei decided to give it a try. First, light beams filled the sky, and the densely packed attacks made one's scalp go numb. The Dragon God Mountains did not move at all, and there was no damage at all. Lin Fei activated his fusion, and 18 heavenly gods fused together. His strength soared to the 6-star heavenly god realm, and he turned into a giant. He grabbed the Dragon God Mountains with both hands, but he still could not move them. This time, Lin Fei was convinced. Have you scanned it yet? What the hell is this? Even I can't move it. Lin Fei dispersed his clones. He was very shocked. There was such a treasure in the world that even he could not move the Dragon God Mountains in the slightest. Yes, there's a result. This Dragon God Mountains is refined from a kind of top-grade material called magnetic million-weight stone. With your current strength, you can't hold it at all. I admire this first-generation Dragon God. He collected this kind of top-grade material and refined 8 Dragon God Mountains. It's really a big deal. Master, your luck is really good. This was the first time he heard this name. Is it useful to me? Lin Fei's eyes lit up. It's more than useful. For Master, this is a super good thing. The little demon said disdainfully, as long as Master can move the 8 Dragon God Mountains and use a large amount of divinity points to use the system's refining system, it can help you refine a super killing weapon. Oh my God, super killing weapon. What kind of quality is it? Lin Fei was shocked. He almost suspected that he had heard wrongly. If the 8 Dragon God Mountains could be used to create a super killing weapon, the people of the dragon race would have already refined it. If it was someone else who said it, he would not believe it even if he was beaten to death. He believed the little demon's words without a doubt. It's easy for you to kill a divine king. You can think about it yourself. You should level up immediately. When you become a 9-star Empyrean deity, all of your Empyrean deity avatars will also reach the 9-star Empyrean deity realm. Then you should be able to grab these 8 Dragon God Mountains. Lin Fei was dumbfounded. Can't Ron do it? The little demon said, no. Well, it seems that I still have to rely on myself. Lin Fei had never thought that he would find a treasure here, not to mention a super powerful killing machine. It would be very useful to him. The little demon was created by the system, and even he was full of praise for it, so it must be very good. Boom, boom, boom. Everything outside the exiled heavenly palace was shattered. There were 8 Dragon God Mountains. The land of exile was always sealed by a layer of sealing power. The people inside could not come out. The 9 Dragon King holding the Dragon God scepter was equivalent to opening a back door of the land of exile. As long as one entered, they could open a space-time door through the first divine tool and come out. If he was alone, he would definitely not be able to support it. With Lin Fei's help, he could do it. Chapter 1781. The Dragon God territory was huge. When the land of exile was invaded, the eldest son of the Dragon God, Long Ikuin, was the first to know. He was currently on his way to the land of exile. Father is right. My 9th uncle is really plotting against those people. Is he trying to use those old monsters to make a comeback? Long Ikuin sneered. He didn't really care. Look at the situation. The Dragon God scepter has appeared. If I can bring it back, I will definitely be the successor. The people around him didn't dare to disturb the first prince. Advance at full speed. Follow my orders. Gather all the experts of the Black Dragon Legion and surround the land of exile. They won't be able to escape. The Black Dragon Legion was the main force under Long Ikuin's control. As the eldest son of the Dragon God, he had the support of the Dragon King. He controlled a terrifying force. Otherwise, how could he compete with his brothers? Long Ikuin realized that this was an opportunity for him. As long as he killed 9th uncle and the traitors and brought the Dragon God scepter back, the other 4 brothers wouldn't be able to compete with him for the position of successor. He could rely on this great contribution to settle the matter. The Black Dragon Legion arrived quickly. They immediately sealed off the area. Countless black dragons formed a killing formation that surrounded the 8 Dragon God Mountains. Your first prince, the formation is complete. Someone reported. Long Ikuin stood on the Dragon God Mountain and nodded in satisfaction. Once they come out, no matter who they are, kill them without mercy. This killing formation was one of the super killing formations. It was bought from the auction house of the World Chamber of Commerce. Just activating this killing formation required 100,000 black dragons, all of whom are rulers and above. The order was passed down immediately. Long Meng, Long Bai, follow me in. Long Ikuin wasn't satisfied with setting up the killing formation outside. He called his 2 trusted experts to enter the land of exile and kill them immediately. Understood. Long Meng and Long Bai were brothers who cultivated a combination attack technique. Their battle prowess was extremely terrifying. They were originally peak 5-star heavenly gods, and when they used this combination attack formation, their battle prowess was just barely at the level of a 7-star heavenly god. This was also why Long Ikuin dared to enter personally. This place really is a sealed land. In the banished land, The entire world was a barren wasteland. There were almost no signs of green life. Even the most common green, leaves were nowhere to be seen. Other than the barren yellow sand, there were also barren mountains and bare, towering mountains. Lin Fei had already put away the battle fort and was flying in the sky. Between the sky and the earth, a sealing power was applied to his body, cutting off all connections. Ninth Dragon King and Sixth Dragon King's expressions were solemn. They had underestimated the terror of the banished land. I've still underestimated this place. Not only do we have seals on our bodies, but we're also shrouded in an endless gravitational field. Luckily, we're from the dragon race with strong divine bodies. If this continues for a long time, we won't be able to hold out. The 9 dragons king sighed. This was also the 6th Dragon King's first time here. He was also quite shocked. If it weren't for you, 9th brother, I would have suspected that I would be stuck here forever. Lin Fei didn't care about the seal on his body. Power? His system had a large amount of divine power, so he wasn't afraid of exhaustion at all. Inside the banished land, he had the upper hand. The banished land is indeed not ordinary. Those who can be exiled here must be the top powerhouses of the dragon god domain. Only they can survive in this place. You're right. Those without strength don't have the right to survive here. You guys are the ones who don't have the right to survive, ha ha ha. Suddenly, a cloud of yellow sand rose and turned into a world, falling down on them. This person is very strong. The 6 Dragon Kings opened their mouths and roared, spewing out dragon might at the yellow sand. However, the yellow sand didn't move at all, continuing to fall on them. What a big tone! Lin Fei laughed. This heaven and earth mystique was not bad, but it was still full of flaws in front of the system. He took out the heavenly deity's saber and slashed at one of the spots. The yellow sand exploded. A middle-aged man in a yellow robe appeared in the distance. You're a powerhouse of the sand race. Why are you here? The 6 Dragon Kings exclaimed. Humph, none of you from the Dragon Clan are good people. In any case, since you came in, don't even think about leaving. Obediently become my blood food. The yellow-robed, middle-aged man shouted loudly. Yellow sand filled the sky as he disappeared. Brother Ditian, be careful. This person is a powerhouse of the sand race, and he's best at creating thousands of clones. He's already a 4-star heavenly god, and with his bloodline mystique, he can fight against a 5-star heavenly god. The 6 Dragon Kings warned. He also felt a bit pressured. Lin Fei was just worrying about how to make a move. Killing someone from the dragon race might make the other party unhappy. Once he heard that the other party wasn't from the dragon race, he didn't care anymore. I'll deal with this person. Boom! Boom! 18 heavenly god clones soared into the sky, one after another, shocking the sand race powerhouse. The 18 clones entered Lin Fei's body, and their auras kept rising. He broke through to the 6-star heavenly god level in one go. Divine level blade slash. Lin Fei's heavenly god battle technique slashed at one of the clones, and his divine power slashed through the void. Patter! The 2 halves of the corpse fell from the sky, and blood dyed the yellow sand red. Whoosh! The heavenly god battle technique in Lin Fei's hand couldn't withstand the power and broke into pieces. He died just like that. The 6 Dragon Kings knew that Ditian was very powerful. After witnessing the battle with his own eyes, he was completely shocked. This was too terrifying. The sand race powerhouse was good at hiding himself, and ordinary people wouldn't be able to find out where he was. Ditian actually killed him with a single slash. Impressive, impressive. What a sneaky guy. Killing him is as easy as flipping my hand. Lin Fei moved the 2 halves of the corpse into the battle fort, where Hairball would be in charge of eating them. There were 56 godhoods in the storage ring. Lin Fei's eyes lit up. This was a harvest. I have a use for the godhoods. You guys can split them. Lin Fei threw the storage ring to them and took the godhoods for himself. He used them to level up, and he was one step closer to leveling up. The 6 Dragon Kings were shocked again. They didn't expect Dtion to be so generous, willing to share the rest of the items with them. The 6th Dragon King had his own pride. Normally, he wouldn't care about such things, but these were all in the past. After being constantly suppressed, his bloodline's cultivation resources were limited. Naturally, he was tempted when he saw the godhoods, but he was too embarrassed to take them. The 9 Dragon King accepted them without hesitation. 6th brother, he's a tycoon. He might not be interested in other things, but the godhoods are the only thing he's interested in. It's a waste not to take these things. With the 9 Dragon King's words, the 6th Dragon King also thought that his bloodline still had some godhoods. Should he trade them with Dtion? Chapter 1782. Deep within the land of exile, several divine senses emerged from the barren yellow sand, communicating with each other. That aura was so strong. Even though it's only the aura of a 6-star heavenly god, it's terrifying. Did another expert come? It doesn't matter if he's an expert or not. My people have already gone to deal with him. In this godforsaken place, where even birds don't shit, we can't absorb immortal chi. We have to rely on godstones to survive. Only a fool like him would go all out as soon as he entered. Ha ha ha. I knew you would send someone over. I've actually sent someone over as well. I wonder how lucky everyone is this time. Ha ha ha. Why don't we make a bet and see who wins? Let's bet. I'll bet 5 million inferior grade immortal stones on my man winning. These divine senses were the 8 strongest experts in the land of exile. They almost never fought. It didn't matter if they were dragons from the draconic divine domain or foreign powerhouses. Once they arrived in the land of exile, they would either be killed or choose to join the sect of that powerhouse. Every time a powerful expert appeared, these big shots would come out to watch the show. This was the only thing they could do to amuse themselves. The appearance of a 6-star heavenly god was a very powerful existence in the land of exile. The 8 big shots were naturally very interested. Experts like that would never lack immortal stones. This was what they needed the most. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Countless powerful auras flew over from all 4 directions. Wow, there are 40 experts here. Judging by their auras, they're all 4-star heavenly gods, or 5-star heavenly gods. Lin Fei opened the system and narrowed his eyes. He was overjoyed. They were here to give him God's cores. Just now, a Sand Tribe expert had given him a lot of God's cores, and now there were 40 more. They really thought highly of him. The 6th and 9th Dragon Kings also sensed the powerful auras flying over. Not all of them were from the Dragon Tribe. Some were human experts, and some were from other races. In less than a moment, the experts with powerful auras appeared in their field of vision. Their violent auras stirred up a cloud of yellow sand. It was clear that none of the newcomers were easy to deal with. They were all famous experts. The big fat meat is coming. Everyone go. To the east, a fat man who looked like a corporeal body narrowed his eyes as he summoned a blood-colored tree, which shot out hundreds of beams of sword chi toward Lin Fei's group of 3. Fatty, she's ours. Don't you dare. In another direction, a tall and skinny middle-aged man coldly laughed and waved his hand, summoning a massive black net. The black net grew larger and larger until it was like an inescapable net above the 3 of them, trapping everything within it. The 40 experts attacked ferociously the moment they arrived, regardless of who it was. 9 Dragons King didn't even have the time to reveal his identity before he was locked onto by killing intent. If he didn't take out the Dragon God Scepter, he wouldn't be able to block these people's attacks. It was the same for the 6 Dragon Kings. They had witnessed the terror of the banished land. What mattered here was strength. Everything depended on strength. Otherwise, that person from before wouldn't have said such a thing. Good timing. This was Lin Fei's first time encountering 40 experts. In his eyes, any one of them was a mini-boss. Godheads waved at them. Lin Fei chose to ignore the sky full of attacks. Slow down time. With a powerful time art, the speed of the incoming attacks slowed down. Lin Fei also shot out, aiming at the fat man. His heavenly deity battle saber had been destroyed, so he didn't take it out again. Grabbing at the air, his god force turned into a huge saber that shone brightly and slashed at the fat man's waist. The sword chi shattered. Lin Fei's saber slashed at the fat man, sending him flying. The fat man coughed up a mouthful of blood, and a horrifying wound was left on his chest. While you're down, I'll take your life. Once again, Lin Fei pounced at the fat man. With a slash of his god force saber, the fat man was cut in half, and his godhead exploded. Just as he killed the fat man, a shadow attacked from the void. This person was dressed in a black robe and had 2 dark, golden daggers in his hands. With 2 swishing sounds, he stabbed the fat man's body. So what if you can kill the fat man? You're still going to be seriously injured by me. My daggers are filled with paralyzing poison that can break all kinds of flesh. The shadow said smugly. Boom! Just as the dagger stabbed out, the figure in front of him crossed tens of thousands of layers, and the attack instantly missed. A divine saber light slashed over and landed on the expert of the hidden shadow sect, causing him to vomit blood and fly backwards. His eyes were filled with shock. After that, another saber light slashed over, and his body, which was considered not bad, was chopped into 2. In the blink of an eye, 2 4-star heavenly gods were killed. In just a few breaths' time, Lin Fei had killed 2 experts. The remaining people were also shocked, and then all kinds of excitement. He won't be able to last long with such a big move. Everyone attack together with me. He belongs to us. No one can take him away. It had to be said that these people were crazy. 2 4-star heavenly gods had died, but they didn't care at all. This was the land of the seal. Divine power couldn't be replenished. Under such a big move, divine power couldn't be recovered at all. Only by taking elixirs could one barely recover, but it couldn't last long in battle. They had seen this kind of situation many times. No one could last long. The bigger the attack, the worse it would be. Unfortunately, they underestimated Lin Fei. He had a system with him that stored trillions of divine power units. He could squander it as much as he wanted without worrying about not being able to keep up with the attacks. Lin Fei, who didn't use the heavenly god saber, used the simplest attacks, and with the support of the time technique, he moved back and forth. Block! We can't stop him. Too fast! Not good, another one died. At this time, Lin Fei was like a ghost. Using the time technique and the space technique, the 2 strongest technique attacks, Lin Fei took the lives of heavenly god powerhouses one after another. No one could block his attacks. Every time, Lin Fei's attack was exactly twice as big as theirs, perfectly crushing them. It also became easier for Lin Fei to kill them. At first, they wanted to exhaust Lin Fei's divine power, and when there was no time to replenish it, they would attack with all their strength. Lin Fei kept attacking fiercely. His combat strength was fierce, and no one could block his attacks. Besieging? Their attacks were halfway there, but he had already dodged them. This way of dodging left them dumbfounded. Lin Fei was like a ferocious tiger, killing more than 30 heavenly god powerhouses, and they were like sheep. The powerhouses died under his saber one after another, and the ground was covered with corpses, godheads, storage rings. Run! Too powerful! In the blink of an eye, there were only 3 heavenly gods left. They were the last ones. They were scared out of their wits. No one present could block 3 slashes, and they were basically killed in 2 slashes. Whether they were 4-star heavenly gods or 5-star heavenly gods, only 6-star heavenly gods could last until the 3rd slash. You guys can stay too. Lin Fei slashed again, and his divine power surged. The long and narrow saber light swept across their bodies, and the remaining 3 became corpses, falling on the yellow sand. Chapter 1783. Fast! In one word, fast. The strands of divine sense in the banished lands were struck dumb. 40 heavenly god powerhouses were all killed by someone. Such a force could cause a shocking commotion outside, but they were killed just like that. The bloody corpses on the yellow sand became the best proof. 8 big shots walked out from the depths of the banished lands, each with a different expression. Obviously, they did not expect the person in their eyes to be so powerful. A sweep is a sweep. Young man, your strength is not bad to be able to discover our tracks. An expressionless old man said, You killed 40 heavenly gods. Don't tell me you still want to attack us. Although you're a human, this old man doesn't mind. As long as you join my sect, I can give you a very high position. Another old man said, Heavenly gods' deaths were nothing to them. As long as they could recruit a subordinate, they would be a powerful general. Most of the spatial rings left behind by the 40 experts would fall into their pockets. You're the Grand Elder. I'm Little Nine. 9 Dragons King stared at one of the old men, clearly excited. The old man wasn't standing far away. Only when he heard the voice did he notice the 9th Dragon King and the 6th Dragon King. He was stunned, not daring to believe his eyes. Little Nine, is that really you? The old man appeared in front of 9 Dragons King, asking excitedly, Grand Elder, I'm Little Nine, I'm back. 9 Dragons King nodded. The old man's face darkened. Little Nine, what's wrong with you? Why are you back, and even in the banished lands? Don't you know this is the sealed land? What, that's Little Nine. Impossible, he's here in the sealed land. Among the 8 experts, 3 paled, appearing beside 9 Dragons King, sizing him up. Yes, that's right, it's Little Nine and Little 6, they haven't changed at all. Grand Elder, 3rd Elder, 5th Elder, 7th Elder. 9 Dragons King recognized them one by one, and 6 Dragon Kings followed suit. In terms of status, everyone present was higher than the 2 of them. Back in the day, they were both members of the Elder Group and had an extremely high authority. Later on, they were schemed against by the new dragon god and banished to the sealed land. In the sky, the other experts frowned. You're the 9 Dragons King, from back then. Since you're here, you must have the dragon god scepter on you. Quickly hand it over. One of the experts shouted excitedly. The eyes of the others lit up. They had also heard about the dragon god scepter. The dragon god scepter was the #1 divine artifact of the dragon clan and also a super killing weapon. It was rumored that with the dragon god scepter, one could leave the sealed land. Haitian, what nonsense are you talking about? Little Nine was sent to the sealed land. Do you think there's still a dragon god scepter? Grand Elder Long Aoshua roared. Demonic Sea Celestial was tall and sturdy, his body overflowing with demonic chi. He was a heavenly god powerhouse of the devil race, so he didn't buy it at all. Everyone, don't believe the old thing's words. Whether or not we have it isn't up to him to decide. We have to search your body first. You 4, we have more than 4. Let's see who's afraid of who in the end. Either you search me or hand over the dragon god scepter. With the dragon god scepter, we can leave this damned place. The other 3 came from different clans. They usually lived in harmony with each other, but now that the dragon god scepter had appeared, they couldn't help but make a move. No one was willing to stay in this place. The experts under Haitian's command flew out and appeared behind them. The other 3 experts did the same. In just a short while, close to 1,000 heavenly gods appeared behind the 4 of them. Each of them was filled with a ferocious aura. On Long Aoshua's side, the number of people he gathered wasn't that many, barely over 100 heavenly deities. This was also due to their arrogant temperaments, disdaining to recruit experts. At most, they would recruit experts from the Dragon Clan. After a long time, many died, and only 100 or so experts from the Dragon Clan remained. In terms of momentum, Long Aoshua's side was much weaker. Old thing, your Dragon Clan is very strong, but we aren't weak either. Who doesn't want to leave the sealed land? Now either hand over the dragon god scepter, or let us search you. You only have two choices. Emohation shouted. Everyone, don't you think so? Yes, we want to leave. I don't care if you are from the dragon clan or not. If you don't hand over the dragon god scepter, we will kill you. Hand over the dragon god scepter. Long Aoshue knew Emohation very well. He was a selfish, cold, and cruel person. He would never give up on something that he had set his eyes on. His strength had reached the 7-star heavenly god realm, and he was the strongest powerhouse in the sealed land. Even Long Aoshue was slightly inferior to him. 9 Dragon King also realized that he had said the wrong thing and was being used. The dragon god scepter was on him, so he naturally wouldn't let them search him, let alone hand it over. Master, is there a way? 9 Dragon King subconsciously looked at Ditian. The 4 elders' faces turned ugly, especially Long Aoshue, who had high hopes for 9 Dragon King. He almost suspected that he had heard wrong, and his sharp eyes shot towards the human brat. When this matter is settled, this old man wants you to explain yourself. A mere 6-star heavenly god, Long Aoshue didn't care at all. This matter needed an explanation. Since when did their dragon clan recognize a human as their master? Wasn't this a complete mess? Great Elder, you've misunderstood. It's not what you think. 9 Dragon King hurriedly explained, afraid that Ditian would be angered and cause an even bigger misunderstanding. This was not what he wanted to see. Explanation? Lin Fei laughed. Since you're an old man, I won't say anything. If it were someone else, I'd slap you to death, whether you're from the Dragon Clan or not. You don't have the qualifications for me to explain. 9 Dragon King broke out in a cold sweat. This is bad. Long Aoshue was an arrogant person in the past, or else he wouldn't have been schemed against by the dragon god. Now, not only was he called an old man by a junior, he even wanted to slap him to death. The other 3 elders' faces also turned ugly, and they looked at 9 Dragon King with reproachful eyes. This young man's temper is really big. It's been a long time since I've had someone like this talk to me. Long Aoshue suppressed the anger in his heart. This was not a good time to take action. The most important thing now was to deal with Emohation's group. I hope that after this matter is over, you still have the strength to say such words. The proud dragon clan is not to be blasphemed. Lin Fei didn't even look at Great Elder. Instead, he looked at Emohation in the distance. Great Elder, you should be glad that you didn't make a move, because you'll soon see what it means to not judge a book by its cover. Emohation couldn't wait for an internal strife to occur. What's your decision? I'll give you 10 breaths of time. Once the time is up, we'll personally take action. Emohation gave his final notice. Suddenly, Lin Fei laughed. No need to count, because you're all going to die soon. Boom! A tyrannical aura soared into the sky.